Here for the coin toss, and of course we're joined by today's umpires and both captain of Pakistan Sahel Sadiq and captain of the World 11 team Shari Gonawalia. Really excited to have you both here today, and of course thank you to our umpires. Ready for the coin toss? Who's tossing?
The World 11 will be tossing.
World 11 are tossing and Pakistan are calling.
Heads.
Heads is a call.
As it is. And it's a tail.
Tails.
I will be bat first.
You're batting first. Come over and have a chat for me, Shari. We'll speak to you in a second, Sahel. So, captaining of the World 11 team, it's quite an eclectic mix. There are people in your team from all over the world. Is that going to be an exciting thing?
Yeah, so we all are very excited, and it's like a proud moment for us to play here. So thanks to the management and especially Harry. So they invited us to play here.
And you guys have never played together as a team, but you've got faith in each individual player today?
Yeah, actually we played all together from like a long time. Just we got a few 4 or 5 outsiders, but it's all good. We are here from last 2-3 days, so we had good net sessions, good chatting with the team, so it's all good for us.
Now Pakistan have already played here in the tournament so far, but it's your first time today. Have you managed to catch any of the earlier matches?
Yes, actually we came here for every match. We saw the wicket, how it behaving, so it's all good for us. We will try our best.
And you've elected to bat first. What helped you make that decision?
Yeah, actually we all decided to bat first because last few games chasing is hard, so we'll try our best to get as maximum runs. So that's all we can say here.
Wonderful. Well, good luck to you and your team today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Sahel, come on in. Unfortunately lost the toss today, but that doesn't mean it's a reflection.
It doesn't change anything. You know, we're going to come out and play the same cricket we want to play. The attacking brand of cricket we're trying to play. We got a good bowling attack, and we should be able to, get them out fairly quickly and chase it down.
And we saw your whole team here last night watching the other two teams playing. Is it off-field as much a team bonding experience as well as on the field? Important to you?
Absolutely. We got guys who haven't played with us before. They come, across the state and stuff. We got few internationals as well. It is obviously the gelling is very important. Knowing each other's games, trusting each other, and building a team is always important. So we were involved in that activity. We had a good hit yesterday at the background. I think we're ready to go. We already won it, so we want to come out and attack. That's all we want to do.
Bowling first, have you checked out the wicket?
It's going to play, I think, similar. Nothing changed. We saw the game yesterday on the same wicket. It's going to be, same up and down, bit slow. But, we had played a game that's going to help, what we made few mistakes. We're not going to repeat them, obviously. And we want to come out and just win the game.
Perfect. Well, your second match here at the ACL 2022. Good luck to you and your team.
Thank you, Samantha. Thank you.
Well, that was both captains, Sahel and Shari, of Pakistan and the World 11. It's very exciting. The first match of the day is not far away.
Afternoon and welcome to Casey Fields. It's day 3 of the Aussie Cricket League and our first look at the World 11. They take on Pakistan, who went down narrowly in a very close finish against India on the opening day. And the World 11 have won the toss and they've elected to bat. My name is Dan Lonigan. It's a great pleasure to be here. Another warm day here at Casey Fields, Cranbourne for day 3. A couple of double headers coming up tomorrow, starting a bit earlier today. And hoping obviously to beat the sun going down, as has been a bit of an issue in the last 2 games that we've played, which have started after 5 o'clock. Good afternoon to the man wearing the fawn pants. Not sure about them, but anyway, he's wearing them. G'day, Pete Laser.
Well, Dan, I wouldn't take any fashion advice from you.
I don't care whether you do or not, but I'm allowed to have a crack.
A faded pink top and white pants, you look like you should be working at a baker's. But anyway, here we are, and we're here to watch some cricket, which I'm very looking forward to because the standard of the Aussie Cricket League has been high. It was very good last year. I think I was almost surprised by the standard last year. And then this year, with 2 extra teams, there's always a worry that will spread the talent pool a little thin, even though they're all representing different nations. The world being a conglomeration of nations playing today, but it hasn't been the case so far. Individual performances have got teams across the line, and I'm looking forward to seeing who stands up today to do it for either of these teams. Pakistan, of course, after a narrow loss, well, they need to win to be any chance to make the semi-finals on Thursday.
Absolutely. Now, Sam has been out in the middle, and the World 11 won the toss, elected to bat. Spoke to the captain of the World 11, Sherry, and he did say that the reason why they've decided to have a bat first, it seems pretty hard to chase on this wicket of what we've seen in the first 3 matches so far.
I think that's a fair assessment of what we've seen. The wickets have been good, and when you've got a conglomeration of players that haven't played together necessarily all that much, sometimes it's good just to get the runs on the board and then defend it to the hilt, and that's what they'll be looking to do. Although they've got Mohammad Amir with ball in hand, and any time you're facing a world-class left-arm seamer, you know you're going to be up against it for the first couple of overs.
You sure are. The great Mohammad Amir, 119 test wickets, and he bowled pretty well the other night. Thought the Indians sat on him, stopped him from having the damage that he normally would, and straight away the first ball's an absolute cracker, and he beats Sandhu outside the off stump.
You'd have to think that Mohammad Amir, after not getting the just desserts for his bowling the other night, might just crank it up a touch, because there's always that little bit of pride, that little bit of passion that goes with performers who've been there at the highest level, and he will certainly have that. He would have been frustrated, I think, by some of the deliveries he bowled that didn't get wickets the other day.
One of the changes for teams, the only change for Pakistan we'll tell you about in a second, is this time hits him on the body, looking to turn it on the onside. That ball wasn't short enough to pull down behind square for Sandhu. Baba made that big 100 last year. He's out of the Pakistan side, and Katak has come in. And Aranga, who's played a lot of international cricket for Sri Lanka, part of the World 11, not lining up tonight.
Saving himself for later in the week, perhaps.
Well, provided they get over the line tonight. Could all come down to net run rate, couldn't it, in a lot of ways?
And that's for both groups, 2 groups of 3 this year.
Mohammad Amir in again and defends into the offside. Sandhu takes off. He's told to get back. Going nowhere in a hurry, and Kartak, the new inclusion, comes in.
Saw a couple of horrible run-outs yesterday.
We did, both
teams. It's
just
such a waste of a wicket, especially when you look at that deck and you think there's runs to be had there. We haven't seen any big scores, both individually and collectively, so far in this tournament. But there's runs to be had out there. The outfield's absolutely lightning. There's a breeze that you can hit with. Surely they're eyeing off a big score here.
He bowls again, defending into the offside.
Well, I don't mind that. Everyone looks to get the quick getaway, especially with 6 over power play and just the 2 fielders out. So I do understand that. With the deep third and a deep backward square.
Well, you've got
to be out there, though. You can't make runs if you swing and you're gone. So just consolidate your spot out there, get a feel for it.
The World 11 have run out of shirts, so we've got 2 number 12s, and I can tell you that Amjot is the opener. Sandhu's also wearing number 12, so might be a little bit of confusion. And this is pulled away on the onside, just to forward square leg, and they get the first run. There was the rolling of the wrists, although he certainly didn't get it in the middle, Amjot, but he does get a run.
Angel there gets off the mark, which is always a nice feeling, despite the fact it took 5 balls. A little bit of frustration in that shot as well. Patience. It sounds so silly in a T20 game, but the more the games evolve, the more batting teams have realised you've got plenty of time to make runs here. Well, at bowling teams, you've got 80 minutes to bowl your overs. We've seen that come back to bite a couple of teams.
Well, it cost Sri Lanka last night, didn't it? Now Saad gets one down the leg side, and he doesn't have the radar on this occasion, the great Mohammad Amir, and it's a wide, so the second run on the board, none for 2. So Asad Usman is one of the openers and one of the 2 number 12s. Amjot Singh, they've also got 2 number 22 shirt numbers, but we'll be able to tell the difference because Gunawalia, the captain, is a bit portly compared to the big fella Mohammed Irfan, who's about 6'10".
So how can someone be portly and someone be a big fella? Wouldn't that be the same thing?
Tall.
Right.
Be the same, you know what I mean.
Very rarely, Dan.
None for 2 in the first over, and he's on the back foot and having defended down to a good delivery short of a length, and he managed to play it okay in the end, Asad Usman, and that's the end of the opening over. So a good start by the Pakistan team against the World 11, and it's none for 2 on this beautiful day. Again, the wind might be up a little bit more than yesterday, Pete. As you can see, those trees are blowing on the outer side, so if you want to hit sixes, you would be aiming as a right-hander to hit through the onside from this end of the ground, and as a left-hander from the other, or the end of the ground where the right-handers are facing now.
Possibly stronger than last night, certainly not stronger than Sunday. That's for sure. That breeze was very, very strong. It's always windy out here. It's just part of the conditions. You know, you come into Casey Fields, it's how it's going to be. Aziz Allah is going to open the bowling for the grandstand end.
Aziz Allah, who had a great night the other night. He claimed 4 wickets.
Runs
he
in
kept
with
his
purpose.
team in it.
Runs in with purpose too. Don't worry about that.
Yes, he does. He's a beauty.
Hey, look
isn't
at
he?
this.
Runs up and down on the one spot originally, and now he strides in and he bowls wide of the off stump, allowing him to have a look is Amjot Singh.
Do have one disappointment about today, Dan.
What's that, Pete?
Every game so far in the Aussie Cricket League, we've had anthem ceremonies.
We didn't get what you wanted today.
Didn't get the anthem ceremony with the World 11 today, and I'm a
Which
little
you wanted, We Are the World.
I wanted We Are the World for USA for Africa. I think that would have been a great song to play. Everyone could have sung. Everyone who's a smoker could have put their lighters up in the air and gone along. Could have really had a family sort of feel to it.
Great bunch of stars in that. That's the attempted slow one. Just clears the infield. The fielder on the covers jumped up. Might have just avoided his outstretched fingers.
Got a hand to it.
You think you got a hand to it?
Yeah, it's going to have to go down as $2. Tough chance, but they're the half chances that if you're wanting to make the semi-finals, you got to take them. Early wickets, the key. Would have been an absolute hanger. Don't worry about that. Got a hand to it though.
Jot Singh, he got beaten by the slower one then, and that's why he played it in the air, and the fielder at short cover wasn't far away from taking that catch. And Aziz Ullah starting well again, like the other night. And this one keeps very, very low and it rolls through to the wicket keeper. Beats him outside the off stump. The word is Cameron Akmal, who missed out the other night, was smashing them on the oval behind us. The other turf oval here at Cranbourne yesterday will probably bat at number 3, Pete.
Those ones that keep a little bit low, you just got to put it out of your mind because it doesn't matter. If it doesn't get you out, and even if it does, there's not much you can do about it. So you just got to concentrate on the next one, presume it's going to be a normal delivery as far as the length and the bounce is concerned. That's what turf cricket's all about, Dan.
That's exactly right. As he's in again, bowls. He gets a top edge this time. Is it going to land safely? It does. It didn't clear the infield by too much, and he really didn't get onto that. Didn't roll the wrists as well as he would have liked, but it manages to land safely. They all count. It's none for 5 near the end of the second over again. Bowling short and bowling quickly as is at the moment and troubling the batters like he did the other night against the Indians.
Aziz has got a quicker short one.
Very quick.
He's one of a select breed. There's a few who've got it. And you can tell that when he bends his back and it goes short, it is a fair bit quicker.
Aziz in again and defending off the back foot is Asad and plays it back along the offside and there's no run. None for 5 with 1 ball remaining in the second over.
I'm not sure about the atmosphere outside the comment box, but there's plenty of atmosphere inside the commentary box at the moment.
Certainly is.
There's a lot happening, which is good. It's what cricket's all about, bringing people together, talking cricket, watching cricket.
Asking questions, turning screens off, turning screens on.
Real Control-Alt-Delete as much as I can add.
Last ball, in fact, a couple of balls left of the second over. It was the last one, the attempted slow one. And that's a good delivery. And he attempted to clamp down on it, got beaten all ends up, then Assad. And that was the last ball of the second over. And that's impressive by Zizula. And it is none for 5. The World 11 didn't lose a wicket in the opening 2 overs, but looked a little bit at sea in regard to coping with the 2 fast bowlers, Muhammad Amir and Azizullah of Pakistan.
So if you soak up a few of these deliveries early, especially when the ball's hard and the field's in, your responsibility is then to really move on and to create your innings. Use this as a base. Sure, no drama's getting in, but if you're going to do that and eat up a few deliveries, you then have to capitalise on that. Because otherwise the middle order come in with a perceived pressure that they didn't actually build themselves. So it's now on Assad and Jacin to make sure that they're there over the next few overs and get a couple away here. They can't get frustrated with their start either, 5 from just the 2 overs.
There's a slip in place.
He bowled well the other night too.
There's a point and there's a cover. It's interesting that Muhammad Amir's only bowled the 1 over. Even if Butt did bowl well the other night. And without luck. The 10 runs.
You know what Muhammad Amir's waiting for?
What? Goes down the leg side if he called a wide. Just not getting his radar right. First delivery.
The World 11 still has a couple of players from Pakistan or Pakistani heritage as well. I think we know a couple of them. He would have played with and against a couple as well. So he just keeping his powder dry for a few different players.
Well, Yasir Ali played 1 test. He's in this team. He played that test against Bangladesh back in 2003, well before Muhammad Amir, though, of course. He's still only 30. Started his test career at the age of 17, according to the stats. But they don't often get it right again, not taken cleanly behind the stumps. Kept a little bit low. According to the curator, he said the wicket's almost perfect.
He has said that every day.
Yeah, he has.
It's off the bat, that one.
It was off the bat.
I actually thought that was biased, but no signal from the umpire, so it's right. I haven't really met a curator who hasn't thought their wickets went perfect, though, I must say. That's worldwide, not just in Victoria or here at Casey.
As Stuart Fox has said, there's something in it for everyone at the MCG. He would say that, wouldn't he? Again, trying to pull this delivery outside the off stump to one that kept a little bit low again, not picking the right ball to try and pull away with the wind.
I was going to say, I think you've been generous to the batter there. That's a poor shot. Wasn't there to hit, regardless of the carry in the wicket.
Well, I said he was trying to pull the wrong delivery.
That's what I'm saying.
From outside the off stump.
I agree. I think instead of just trying to hit everything with the breeze and hit them to the boundary, there's got to be a bit more batsmanship, which we haven't seen a huge amount from our top order players thus far. A couple have done well.
We saw the opener of Afghanistan yesterday try and swing like a dunny door. Now, this is a well-up delivery that is squeezed to point, and there's no run. It was a Yorker length ball, but he kept it out. Assad, he's yet to score. Amjad is 5, and it's none for 7. The World 11 in the 3rd over. They won the toss. They elected to bat. And a name well known in West Indies circles, Anthony Elaine, is playing today. No relation to Hartley Elaine, who was part of the Rebel Tour to South Africa in the 1980s and played a lot of county cricket for Worcestershire.
The wicketkeeper.
In again, bowls and beaten outside the off stump to a good delivery by Umair Butt. And the corridor of uncertainty, as Suha said yesterday and Damien Fleming says, and comes up with a different variation to the corridor of uncertainty. The hallway of hesitation outside that off stump. Couple of balls remaining in this over, and Umair bowls again. Once more he's squared up by an absolute jaffa. This is good bowling by Umair Butt. Doing a great job. They're not getting bat on ball at the moment. Assad in particular Looks all at sea out there, Pete, yet to make a run, and he's faced 7 deliveries.
He's got a wry grin on his smile, but I think inside he wouldn't be smiling too much.
No.
They've got 7 off the first 17 deliveries. And as I say, it not only puts pressure on themselves, but it puts pressure on 3, 4, 5 who come in following the openers. Give Butt doing a great job here.
He sure is. Charges in again. Once more he beats the probing bat, who's very uncertain outside that off stump, sort of half going forward, and the bat hanging out to dry a little bit, but gets beaten. Excellent over by him, but none for 2, and it's none for 7, the World 11.
Super start here from Pakistan. They've used 3 different bowlers, but they've all come on. We always talk about batting in partnerships. Obviously, batting partnerships is all, there's a lot of records that are attested to for that. But you've got to bowl in partnerships as well, whether it be the same 2 bowlers or whoever you're following
Correct.
up. And I love how each Pakistan bowler, they're ready to go. I think the other night they took a little while to get into their work, into the first, second, third balls of their spell. Maybe not as good. At the moment, they're coming on, they're ready to go. And I reckon that's really good from Pakistan. They're ready to play here.
This is driven down the ground, the start of a new over, and lofted over the infield as well. And that'll go to the boundary for 4. That's better by Amjot.
Manjot Singh there, it was just over pitched from
Yeah, it
Aziz.
was.
He hasn't done that until that delivery. And Singh was good enough just to get on the front foot. Played through the ball as well. We have seen a lot of poking sort of shots and a lot of slashing as opposed to staying still and hitting a proper cricket shot. A lot can be said for proper cricket shots in T20 cricket, and that was a beautiful shot over the offside.
And knowing the fielder's up 2, Pete, with the power play, he's got the bright green iridescent cricket boots on today, as is Allah, and on this occasion, it's again a good delivery.
It'd go well with your pink top, Dan.
Well, my pink top doesn't really stand out because it's faded, but they stand out like a martini bar in the Sahara Desert.
I don't think there's too many pink shirts in the Sahara Desert. I don't think there's too many pink shirts, full stop.
I'm more talking about the green boots, Pete.
I'm just wondering how they're going to go with your kit at the moment.
Oh, I'm happy with it.
Well,
You gotta be happy in your own skin.
They may lay the problem then.
If you look the part, you are the part, Peter.
I don't reckon that's true at all.
Well, I'll disagree. As is Ula. Oh, that's a good delivery, and he had to take evasive action, one that took off, and Amjot Singh had no idea what was happening with that one. Magnificent delivery, and he managed to put the bat in front of his face and took evasive action, and it sailed safely behind square, landing in front of the squarish fine leg fielder. No harm done, but great piece of bowling by Aziz Ulapu.
That's the ball we were talking about in the last over, when he bowls that quicker, shorter one, that can really catch the batters off guard. That's a really good delivery.
Amanjot Singh has got 10 now.
We were talking, I'd like to see more than 1 bouncer per batter per over allowed in T20 cricket.
Assad yet to score. Defends on the onside. He pinned in the back, off the back foot, but he manages to get a run as he played it okay on that occasion. Again, good bowling, short of a length, putting him on the back foot, but he got some bat to ball, which he hasn't been able to very often. And finally, those butterflies might dissipate. He's off the mark. He's been there a long time. And we're in the 4th over. The butterflies inside the stomach, and I'm sure everyone feels like that when they're on naught. I've felt like that many times, and I've still felt like that when I've gone back to the pavilion because I've generally been on naught. So we're in the 4th over. Just to get some bat on ball might give him some confidence. The first slip has gone out now. He's fielding at mid-wicket, and again, good bowling hits him on the stomach as he was crouching on the crease.
So the only delivery that's gone for a boundary, of course, is the one that was a bit of room, was over pitched and hit through it. Aside from that, as he's like he did the other night, really at the batter all the time, not giving you much time nor space. He's got the quicker one up his sleeve. He only allowed one bouncer to each batter per over, but he uses it effectively. It's an effective and underused delivery in T20 cricket, but you've got to be able to execute it, and it's got to be unhittable. And so far, that's how he's been.
Bowling beautifully, coming in from the peninsula end, racing in again. And this is on the leg stump, and it's turned away behind square to the short, squarish, fine leg position by Amanjot Singh. He's 11. Assad is 1. And that completes the fourth over, and it's none for 14.
That's their best
That's
over.
a steady start.
That's their best over so far for the World 11. 7 from it, the boundary early, and then the 3 singles to follow. So they'll be happy with that. The World 11, just to try and break the shackles a little bit. They're going 3.5 and over. They know that's not enough, but they're still out there, and I think that's important. No wicket for 14 after 4. Through one of Mohammad Amir's bowlers. Having said that, Mohammad Amir's not the only good bowler that Pakistan have got. He's just the most
The biggest name they've got. Yeah.
It's a genuine World 11.
It is. Our major sponsor, of course, Oswood Timber and Hardware, jumping on board with Gainwright Accountant and Exclusive Migration along with Spectrum Real Estate Group. Lots of wonderful sponsors supporting the Aussie Cricket League, second Aussie Cricket League. We're into day 3. First look at the World 11. And here's Butt. And this is cut away. It beats the point fielder, a little bit more backward point. There wasn't a chance there for the man at squarish fine leg to get anywhere near that. A little bit short. He pinned the ears back and he got plenty of bat on that. And that's a nice boundary. That'll give Assad some confidence.
That's what we talk about. Short and wide being out there.
Yes.
They've been out there, so now they've got at least the pace of the wicket.
Correct.
Short and wide. It was an absolute gift, but you've still got to hit him.
You do. You've got to put it away and you've got to make sure you don't get it to a fielder. This time he gets a top edge. Can Wayne come round and get it? He can, but it bounces well in front of him. He got that big top edge that sailed over the backward point area.
He's way too fine here at
Yeah.
deep third. He's got to be a lot squarer. I would say 15 metres to his right. I mean, it's almost like he's there to fly slip for a nick, whereas I think if you're going to be deep third, you've got to be there for the late cut and the dab down to the deep third boundary. Not saying he would have caught that, of course, but I still think there's 10, 12, 15 metres to his right, and that's why they got 2. Good running. Like that.
And Amanjot Singh just drops it away, and they'll come back for 2. Good running, because what he did then was he rolled the wrists, and it meant that the fielder had to come in a long way, Arwen, from, of course, that squarish third man position.
I was just going to have a word to third man and tell him where to go, because he's obviously not listening to me. Come over here, man.
Amanjot Singh is 19, batting really well at the moment.
He's got 15 metres to his right, and that's going to be 2 every time. At the moment, they've got 8 off 3 balls here. This is the World 11 getting back on top.
19 of 18, just bowling a little bit wide of the off stump at the moment, Umir Butt. And he's in again, and he drives down the ground. That's the shot of the day so far. That's the off drive, and it pierces the 2 fielders in the covers and at mid-off for a pure cricket shot, Pete Laser, as good as we've seen in the tournament so far, and it's none for 26 in the 5th over. Again, over pitch, not getting his line right or his length right in this over so far, Umir Butt.
Quite rightly said it's shot of the day, and then quite rightly again said possibly shot of the tournament.
Yeah.
You won't see a better cricket shot than that.
You've given me some credit. Wow. It's only taken 3 days.
You finally gave me half a second to get a word in there.
Umir Butt bowls again, and he's on the back foot and chopping away. Pour over this one from Umir Butt. And a lot of work for the man fielding in a position Pete Laser isn't happy with.
I'm not quite sure how many times they need to hit it to the same spot. The
One.
fielder 20 is out of position until they change that fielding position to where he's going to be.
He's in
All the smart cricket brains are saying the same thing at the moment, Dan, so you can jump on board if you like. Because that is for...
I've been leading the board, Pete. I've been leading the board. Everyone jumps on with me, remember. None for 28. Last ball coming up at the 5th over. Umir Butt gets a short one outside the off stump to the batter who tried to, go for the elevation over the slips cordon, the uppercut, and he missed it. He played over the top. The first one he did make contact with, but Amanjot has dominated that over against Umir Butt. He's 25 off 21. Assad is 1 off 9, and the World 11 with a great over. Umir Butt very expensive, none for 16 from his 2 overs, and the World 11 after 5, winning the toss, electing to bat, and none for 28.
So the World 11 have doubled their score in that over. They took 4 overs to get to 14, and they're no wicket for 28. And now they're looking steady. And this is the key about staying in and being there, weathering the early storm, as you have to do. Mohammad Amir's going to come on for a second over. Dan Parker's got his look about him.
I'll
drop out and allow Darren to come in. Pete, here he is.
Good to have Dan Mulligan on board and parking here. Just as he's somewhere. I don't think he's wearing his fancy jacket like he was for the first couple of days. Probably getting it dry cleaned.
Little on the warm side as well. And just a drop and run into the offside. And you're right about the shot, the stumps misses. But at third man, it's the cumulative effect because it turned ones into twos every time, which kept the batsman on strike, which led to the boundary through the covers. And it just grows and grows and grows.
And I understand it's an easy game from here.
Yeah.
These guys have played a lot of cricket. You've got to get your ankles right. And also, Kevin Akmal, the keeper, he can move the players as well. No one's going to disagree with someone who's been there and done that at the test level.
And the player even taking ownership and just saying, oh, look, I think I'll just creep around a little bit, even if it's not an instruction, and beaten for pace there as he tried to pull that through the onside. And not the first time Mohammad Amir has beaten someone for pace.
That's very true. Not the first time he's done it at Casey Fields or anywhere around the world.
A little bit, even if it's not an instruction, and beaten for pace there as he tried to pull that through the onside. And not it's a what's left in the laundry basket, I think.
Yeah. I'm not saying it looks like that. But you're right, it's quite warm today.
It's
got a little bit of stickiness about the air as well.
And tomorrow, I think, the hottest day of the tournament, 30 degrees tomorrow, as Amir again just rockets one through at shoulder height. The batsman looks to the square leg umpire and says, how's that for maybe two in the over that are too high? But umpire says that's the first. The last one must have got a little under the shoulder.
Maybe just a little bit of praise for the take from Cameron Akmal too. That was still on its way up.
For a little man.
Yeah, he's only a little bit. He's timed his jump beautifully. We'll see this on the replay from Amir, who really did bend his back on this one. And that was still going, and it was still going up. That's a really good take. It just caught my eye at the top of the screen there.
For a little wicket keeper, he'd be 5-5 or somewhere around about that mark, as that one, he does get bat on ball, carves it away to point. No run, so Mohammad Amir just putting the brakes on the run spree we had in the previous over.
Well, it's true, they were 7 for 3 overs, then went 7 and 14. Is the idea with Mohammad Amir, I mean, I would have thought he's more of a strike bowler. Is the idea for him, though, to come on when things just get a little bit out of hand? Because he certainly puts the brakes on straight away, not just by reputation, but by execution.
Absolutely, and second over for him, so it's always that balancing act as to how they use him. Bowled one early, then came back on and bowled another one here, and that's 4 dot balls in a row that he's produced. So at the end of this over, he's obviously halfway through his spell. They'll assess whether they give him one more here and one later, or just save him for the back end of the innings.
With his experience, you'd like to have 2 up your sleeve for whenever those times may be. And as we've said, every bowler's come on ready to go, and I think that's certainly the modern day, isn't it? You don't need the warm-up or the loose ones.
Last ball of the power play, wicketless so far, the World 11, and they finish it in style by blasting that through the covers for 4, and that's not too far behind the boundary we had in the previous over for being the shot of the innings so far.
That was just slightly over pitch and a little bit slower. There's nothing wrong with cover drives that go for 4. Full toss, and he made the most of it. Beautifully balanced when he hit that stroke as well. Didn't try and overhit it. Used the pace of Amir, and also realising you've got a pretty good bat. Let the bat do the work there. So
there's still the shots that look the best. I mean, we see the inventive T20 shots, ramps, reverse sweeps, late cuts, all of that sort of stuff. But straight drive, cover drive, on drive, they just look sensational when they're executed perfectly.
Now, the umpires are all over this. We've had issues with over rates the first few days. It almost cost India against Pakistan. It did cost Sri Lanka against Afghanistan. The batters have asked for a drink, and maybe rightly so. It's pretty warm out there. They've got helmets on. I understand all that, but the umpires are all over that, saying, no, you've got to have this pretty quickly because 80 minutes to bowl your overs, and if you don't bowl them, there's penalties.
And the issue is the light. Obviously, we get towards the end of the day. It's been a little bit of an issue the last 2 days. They started this match 15 minutes earlier, so that'll offset that to a degree. Skipper comes on here. Bowled his first over for Pakistan. Amanjot's been leading the way. 29 of the 33 runs have come from his blade.
And he's faced 26 of the 36 deliveries as well, so he's got a bit between his teeth at the moment, and he's started slowly, but he's batting well.
Saraja coming in. World 11's been a fascinating historical journey in cricket, as that one is pulled. Didn't get all of it, probably a little bit early on the shot. He was sort of through it and just sort of hacked it into the onside and got a single.
You know, when you think things, Daz, and then you get supported by stats, which is always a good thing. I've just been told that We are right. No wicket for 33 is the best of Aussie Cricket League 2.0 power plays.
Certainly felt that way. Didn't look like we were going to get there. Obviously 3 overs in, and that one's just pulled away behind the stumps on the onside, sort of dragged it down to the shortish fine leg, and they'll get another single. But my dad always tells the story of the World 11, obviously the famous World 11 tours of the early 70s, where Garfield Sobers, I think, made 254 at the MCG, and Dennis Lilly took 8 for 29 at the Wacker against the World 11 side very early in his career, as that one's squared. I'm trying to remember the last time we saw them in Australia. Was it 05 they played a series out here?
Well, there was actually 2. There was an 05 series, it was the Johnny Walker series. Steve Waugh and Michael Bevan both got hundreds in consecutive balls. That was also South Africa played.
That was at the Docklands.
Docklands,
yeah.
The World 11 actually played a 6-day test, and Australia won that. That was at the height of Australia's sort of dominance, if you like, at the test level.
As that one is pushed to cover but doesn't beat the fielder, goes directly to the man out there who does the fielding.
Yeah, they had a 6-day test at the SCG, and I also remember the Tsunami game. That was the Tsunami appeal game to raise some money. That was the end of 04.
I reckon that World 11 squad will touch on that at the moment. That's pulled beautifully, although straight down the throat of the fielder. Could not have hit that more direct. It came straight off the middle of the bat, but he's picked the fielder out in the deep. That's usually the boundary that they get the most, I guess, carry on with that breeze, but he smoked that off the middle but put it straight down the throat of deep square leg, and the first wicket falls.
It's easy to be critical here. It actually looked like he didn't know if he wanted to hit it along the ground and rollers or get in and under it and actually give it everything. I think had he given it everything, it may have actually carried, because he certainly got really good contact with it. But it was just in that middle ground, and as soon as you hesitate, and it all happens very quickly, it just looked like he didn't quite know, am I going along the ground or am I going in the air?
And it's the player they wanted to get. Namanjot Singh, 30 of the 36 runs have come from him. He departs. Obviously Assad still at the crease, but hasn't looked comfortable and has been starved of the strike. So they get the set and established player out. And
Skipper
Anthony Aline coming in. So Skipper replaces, or Skipper comes out to bat. Skipper on to bowl.
Skippers do take it pretty seriously. I mean, they've got a bit of recruiting as part of their work as well with the Aussie group. Well, that's down.
Anthony Aline, a new batter coming out.
Because we were in a rush when we got here, he didn't know it was starting at the early start has got him. But I must say, Sadiq doesn't matter.
That's right.
He's leading.
He is the captain, so he's there at the moment. It's 1 for 36. Last ball of the 7th over, and that one's worked away behind point along the carpet. The third man positioned a little bit better there, comes around, fielding wide, and picks that up and restricts it to just 1. So 1 for 37. Yeah, that World 11 side in 05, I think, had very heavy South Africa and English presence. Flintoff, Smith, Callis. I think Dale Steyn was probably just emerging at that point.
And don't forget Daniel Vittori, who
was
like the one player from New Zealand who was pretty good at that stage.
Yeah, they've developed a bit since then, but he was became a phenomenal batsman towards the back end of his career. I think he averaged 45 in his last 5 years.
Unbelievable. 1 for 37 after 7. World 11 won the toss, elected to bat first. I'll do a bit of analysis about this World 11 side. I'm excited by the World 11. Of course, if they win, they're guaranteed a spot in the semi-finals, and then they'll have their game against India to work out the order of which that group will finish. So there's plenty to play for today, Des. Charles was here before. He doesn't have his jacket on today, but he's still very well dressed. Oh no, he does have his jacket. It's just a different one. He's also got white socks and black shoes. I can't handle that, so I'm going to pass the microphone over to him.
Our fashion guru, Pete Laser, departs. A spin comes into the attack here as that's driven through the offside for a single. And of course, this World 11 side, as Pete said, they go through if they win, because Pakistan will have lost both matches if they get beaten today. India winning their opening match, and if the World 11 obviously get to victory with Pakistan not to play, then the semi-final berth out of this group would already be secured. So must win for Pakistan. And they'll be watching that India World 11 match with much interest, hoping that goes the right way for them. Dhawan coming into the attack for this over, and And that's a good delivery. Just fired it in a little bit quicker, beating the bat. And challenging period, Suhas, as we welcome you for the World 11. They were really well set when they had Amanjot at the crease, but they've got a new batter at the crease and one who was struggling to get going as they've launched this down the ground. It's wide. It hasn't got the carry. It's caught a metre inside the rope. And for the second time in about 4 deliveries, the World 11 haul out. And it is a comfortable catch taken, and it's 2 down now inside 8 overs. Farwood takes the catch.
Thank you very much, Darren. Intention right, execution wrong. And perhaps he didn't look at the scorecard, but he was going for a shot at this kind. The wicket has just fallen, wobbling along with the ball in the air. Eventually the catch was taken. 38 for 2.
And Assad was never really comfortable. The runs were flowing at the other ends. He was 4 off 14 deliveries. Took him 9 balls to get off the mark, and I guess that was okay whilst the bat was flying at the other ends. He had to take a bit more of a senior role in this partnership and doesn't add to his score.
That's true, but when the toss and choose to bat first, you want your engine room to fire. Even this decision was also taken by taking into consideration when the sun bids goodbye. It's played a part in this tournament so far.
Absolutely. A little bit of spin, getting the breakthrough there as Awan. There he's pushed to cover. Good quick single there. Sharp running between the wickets. And 2 for 39. Pushpanda Jassel, the new batter at the crease. Pushy for short. And he's now going to face... He's got off the mark. We've got Anhoney is 2 off 2 with him at the crease, coming a couple of steps down the crease in a lofted sweep that went about head height on the bounce. Good shot for 1 run, and it's 2 for 40.
Brilliant work by Yusuf in the deep. It very easily could have been more than 1. The dispatch was so accurate that the second run could not be entertained in thought, let alone executed.
So Wan with the final delivery of his first over, playing back in the crease with soft hands down to a short third, and another very quick single. Good running between the wickets from this pair, so positive intent early in the partnership. 3 singles in a row, and it's 2 for 41 off 8 overs. How are you reading the game, Suhas? Obviously 2 overs ago, the World 11 at the end of the power play were really well placed. Pakistan hit back.
There's an excellent fight back by Pakistan. Also, the fact that they don't mind if the bowling is being moved around, because both these batters almost have decided that the singles are the way to go forward, especially when a wicket has fallen. They just want a period of calm, which is not a bad idea at all, especially knowing that Pakistan are a kind of team that claw themselves back in if you give them even a little bit of a leeway.
Looks like we're going to have slower bowling from both ends potentially here. We're here for exclusive migration. 8 overs in, run rate just a tick over 5 at the moment. And Fawad coming in to operate from the Cranbourne end. Left arm around the wickets, and that one's in tight to the stumps, and no run. Cameron Akmal always very chirpy up behind the stumps.
We were discussing that. These days the keepers, it's become an unwritten rule for the keepers to be chirpy.
And that one's sort of cut off the back foot but doesn't beat the circle, and they won't get a run for that.
Now, is that the right pace to be bowling at for Badmaluk? He's recognised that quite early today in operation from the other end.
Has been a change that's netted success as he beats the bat outside off stump there, puts the hands on the head knowing that was pretty close. Smile on his face, enjoying himself.
Just love this from the captain of Pakistan. As soon as that waft had occurred, a slip has been awarded to the bowler, Fawad Malook. Can he bring him in play?
Both wickets have been hauled out, and he stepped away to cut there, and the ball followed him, and he just didn't have room to go through with the shot, so ended up just watching it into the gloves.
I think it was a last-minute adjustment. The batter decided not to offer the shot. Not a bad idea at all when you don't know how much it's spinning.
They're the ones you'll often sort of tickle through to the gloves, so leaving that one alone. They run the first one hard here. They don't come back for the second. So they do avoid the maiden. There's one to come. They get the first run of the over.
It's been a great fight back from Pakistan indeed. Ever since that wicket has fallen, runs coming only in singles. Even good shots have been curtailed to a single due to some excellent throwing.
Bowled very well against India in the first game. Obviously, they didn't have enough runs to protect. Obviously, they got the bonus, but the 93 they put on the board was unlikely to be enough. It almost was, obviously, with the 10-run bonus, and that's just the 1 run off the over. So good start from Fawad. 9 overs down, 2 for 42. So Pakistan fighting back, as you say. 2 for 9 off the last 3 overs.
And Honi and Pushy have got to figure out who is the bowler that they need to handle better. They've got to take their chances now, just to tease the opposition and get some momentum at this stage. Then perhaps with wickets in hand towards the end, you can go for the launch. Bowled 11. The fact that they're playing these 3 days into the tournament would have allowed them enough time to study the others and how they fared in their innings, especially the games which have been played around this time.
We saw them here last night, obviously. They were getting kitted up, having a look at the closing stages. There was a big viewing area for that, the closing stages of that Afghanistan-Sri Lanka match. They were all lined up, given the tight nature of that game. Awan is continuing here. Picked up a wicket in his first over, into his second.
There's so much comfort at the moment for the spinners. Somebody needs to ruffle some feathers. A shot of this kind would do to some extent, because Awan never likes to be swept away.
There's 2 in the deep. They've got the deep mid-wicket, and the deep backward square is actually just moving in now, obviously with the left-hand, right-hand combination at the crease, but he wasn't able to pick the gap, hit it directly to deep mid-wicket and got the single.
All right, Aaron, slightly wider long on, but not if that's the length. He's not going to go to long on then. He's quite content just cutting it away. He's got a deep point though from Awan.
It's a very safe shot. That was in the air a long way, but no one at point to threaten that delivery. So 1-1-1. Important for World 11 to just tick the scoreboard over after that double breakthrough.
I think that the denomination they're going for is not going to pinch Pakistan much at this stage.
That was nicely played away, and again they'll get the 4th single in succession.
And it almost looked like Qamar Awan's not looking for a wicket either. This non-aggression pack shall end at some time.
Yeah, it's interesting. The tendency to, bowling to not concede runs, and as we said, we've spoken to Bryce McGain a few times that the easiest way to avoid runs is to get him out.
So true. Now you see that the slip had also faded away as soon as both these batters started to nurdle the ball around.
Last ball of the 10th, so we approach the halfway point of the innings. He played it on the onside there, took a couple of steps down the track and got sent back. So 4 runs off the over. I want to be pretty pleased with that. He's got 1 for 8 from his 2. So at the halfway point of the innings, it's 2 for 46. So that means that in the 4 overs since the power play, 2 for 13, as Dan Lonigan will jump back in and take you through the next little stint. Fascinating little period in the game.
Hello, great man. Good to be with you again, Suhart.
Likewise, Dan.
2 for 46 at the halfway mark, and that is definitely below par. But the most important thing is plenty of wickets left in the shed.
Yes, but they're not going to take them home. At some stage, they're going to plan the attack.
No, correct. I
And
love your lines. They're not going to take them home. Take me home, country roads. Absolutely not. So the start of a new over.
Now, for somebody to build that launch pad so that you can have a crescendo finish, you're looking at overs from 12 to 15 to go your way. Excellent delivery. What you love the most about Fawad is not the extravagant spin, but the one that turns just enough to tease the outside edge.
That's exactly right. And Pushy's in now, and he goes for the inside out drive.
He genuinely checked his shot there, Dan, didn't he? Didn't offer it full power.
No, he managed to clear the area. Talking of Bubba, 1 change today, he's out, which was a bit of a surprise considering he was their star last year. They left out of their side today, and the team that didn't make enough runs with the bat the other day but were helped by the extra 10 overs they were given, as he gets on the back foot to the next one. Pushy, and he cuts it away to backward point but won't score.
Extra bit of bounce, and it's not the first time we've seen extra bit of bounce when Fawad is in operation.
Batted well the other night, bowled well too. That awkward bowling style, and the nudges this one through the onside. Amir after it, but the fielder on the mid-wicket boundary charges in.
It's been a good over so far for Fawad Malook. 4 runs of it, but those 4 runs have been a struggle. Half an opportunity with the ball being hit up in the air, not in great control. Extra bit of bounce on one occasion. He's building a story.
There's a lane facing now, and he drops into the offside behind the wicket, and Akram does the fielding, and that's a pretty tidy start by Fawad Malook.
So the story of Miserly Malook continues. 50 comes up for World 11 for the loss of 2 at the end of 11.
Lots of work for them to do, but they've only lost the 2 wickets, and their hard-hitting opener did a pretty good job to get 31. And that was Amanjot. And Usman looked all at sea throughout his stay at the crease. Never really got going. Dismissed for 4. But 31 by Amanjot got them going, and now these two have really got to get moving. And such a big game for them. As Pete Loza said, Darren mentioned it as well, they can go straight through to the semis. If they win today, Pakistan will be none from 2. And there's a feel for a catch. But it's called a wide. Now that was down the leg side. Cameron Akmal, let's have a look at the replay. He juggled that. He made an absolute meal of it. Let's wait and see. This is Arwan back in the attack.
What was surprising for me is the fact that Awan had started to celebrate even before the catch was taken cleanly.
Correct.
If it is a catch in the first place, which wasn't.
He took it in between his pads. And the Pakistanis are still discussing it. Just get on with it, guys.
Does cheekiness of this sort work around? Still it does in our game?
Oh, no doubt. I mean, they were thinking, we'll appeal for a catch because it'll save us a run and an extra ball. Here's Arwan again bowling, pushing into the offside, and they'll get a run on this occasion through Pushy, the right-hander, who's looked quite comfortable. 9 off 15, it brings a lane on strike. 6 off 9, but 2 for 52 is not going to get it done with these singles at the moment. I wouldn't have thought as we're in the 12th over.
Yes, someone's got to break the monotony. Would it be Anhoni or Pushy? Now with the left-handed option, if he goes through extra cover, even though Aziz is providing his services as a fielder at very wide long off.
And he uses his feet. That's a beautiful shot as he plays it off his toes. Out into the deep. The 2 fielders are onto it quickly. One from cow corner, my favourite position on a cricket field. The other one from long on. I did a cricket show on the ABC many years ago.
Yeah, Dan.
With my great mate Peter Newlands from Hobart. And we called it cow corner. Yeah. 2 for 53. So Elaine, the left-hander, is batting with Pushy, the right-hander, and Pushy's on strike. Pushes into the offside. He hesitates. But Elaine said, we'll be okay because the fielders are deep enough on the offside. If you tip and run, drop it at your feet, we can go through. And we've got to be positive here. We had a lot of run-outs yesterday. Cost both teams. And in the end, Afghanistan, helped by the 5-run penalty, got over the line and an absolute thriller. And weren't they excited too? Arwan bowls again, short, chopped away, beats the fielder a point. A chase on out in the deep. Will the fielder stop it? He does. Does a great job. He goes over the rope, but he kept the ball inside the field of play. And that is an outstanding piece of fielding by Kartak, the new inclusion today for the Pakistanis. And he chased it, he chased it, he chased. And he blew the house down to ensure he kept the ball alive.
Yeah, it's the belief that fueled him to get there at the right time. And great boundary awareness too. The way he strings himself to keep the ball in play.
He chops the next one, and this time backward point, who couldn't stop the previous one, stops this one.
Yeah, not only are Pakistan not conceding the boundaries, they're also ensuring that the poor balls are being kept down to dot balls. This is the amount of support that the bowler required. Qamar Awan's not complaining.
No, he's bowling wide of the off stump, isn't he? He's going round the wicket again in a lane. Does well with a lovely sweep shot. Beats the lunging fielder at forward square leg, and they get another run on the board.
The currency of zeros and ones has just got another denomination to sport, 2 of it. 15 for 1 in 3 overs. Qamar Awan's producing some good spells at the end of 12, 57 for 2.
Yeah, Pushpanda Jassal at the crease. They call him Pushy as well.
Yeah, and very quietly, very tastily, Dan, you slip out sentences which sort of make to the WhatsApp statuses of many people. He pushes one quietly to long off, picks up a single. Something of this sort you said. I don't
I wouldn't know what I say
verbatim.
half the time, Suhas. I speak unadulterated rubbish most of the time, but enjoy doing it. As it's driven down the ground, the next ball, he was almost yorked by forward Malouk, but he did well enough then to use his feet and get an expansive drive down to long offer lane.
Interestingly, a couple of days ago, Pete said something which sort of made it to WhatsApp statuses of people in India, because I got texts from there, yeah. And he was in conversation with you when you were discussing Florida and the way cricket expands in Florida.
Yes.
And he had a wonderful riposte to it.
Which was?
You said, Florida is where cricket expands from. He said, well, all I know is people expand when they go there.
Yes, I do remember that. But don't give him any credit, will you? Because the head's already big enough as it is. He won't get through the door tomorrow. Another run on the board.
The way you guys flirt with the broadcasting coach, it's something that I'm learning.
It's just called having fun and showing your personality. And with this side-on action, it's fascinating to watch Fawad Malouk, but he gets it online and once again bowling to his field, making it hard for Elaine, who I reckon's looked pretty comfortable on the back foot, then pushing it away, but not able to get the hands free.
Both these
Plays
batters
expansively as he wants. Now he does. He lofts this down the ground, but it'll be taken on the bounce at long on. But they're only singles. They need more than that. And we're in the 13th over, and the run rate is under 5. It needs to be better than that. 2 for 60. One ball remaining. Fawad Malouk doing a great job here.
You look at Fawad Malouk and you think there's a lot of time left in the game. He's wonderful in slowing things down, and the monotony of 1-0-1-0-1 will change with this one.
Short and flat, and this one is the flat bat pulled in front of the wicket, as I describe it, down towards a whitish long on. Completes the over, 2 for 61, 13 gone. Just 2 wickets have fallen for the World 11, but they really haven't shown enough urgency. Certainly Amanjot did with his 31, and Azad Usman struggled with 4. And they've got some work to do here at the World 11. The projected score at the moment is 94. Now Pakistan had 93 and were helped of course by the slow over rate of the Indians and got the extra 10. In the end, India only got over the line with Jatinder 6. That unbelievable smack for 6 over the covers with the wind off the last ball got his team home.
That was a terrific hit indeed.
So here's Arwen again, bowls going down the ground on the bounce. Aziz will take it in the green boots at cow corner. He lofted over the top, but he did well enough to roll the wrist sufficiently for it to bounce in front of the fielder by about 10 metres.
Deliberately did not give it full power once again because he was a little unsure if he has enough bat on it to clear the fence. Aziz quite comfortably could take it on the bounce and not complete it into a catch. This is much better.
Owen around the wicket. Elaine goes long. Elaine goes high. He hasn't got enough of it. Is the catch taken? No. He lunges forward and it slipped out, Shaquille. He lunged forward. He had it. And I reckon his elbows might have hit the ground and it jarred the ball free. And he was at long on coming in off the boundary.
Yeah,
and Elaine survives, gets 2.
Now, who's a better fielder to the bowler now? The long on or the long off? One who goes for the catch or one who doesn't? Definitely not Akmal at the moment.
No, he's missed that one. He hasn't played enough cricket. Cameron Akmal, he's over 40. Went down the ground. Elaine, he missed that one. And Cameron Akmal missed that one and missed an opportunity for a wicket. All the misses in that sentence.
Yes, sometimes the ball is so good that it takes the better of the keeper whose interception point is quite behind the batter. Both of them miss it completely, and again it was an extravagant spin.
So he's dicing with death at the moment, Elaine. Dropped and then almost stumped. The next one he tries to swing and it's called a wide.
That's a good collect though from Akmal.
Yeah.
That easily could have been more.
Down that leg side. He's going over the wicket here to the right-hander, round the wicket to the left-hander. Remember, you've got to be careful going in the air into the breeze to the clubroom side. And he again tried to push that through the onside. Didn't get much connection. I think it might have hit the pad and rolled out along the offside.
Would it be right to say that the bounce on this wicket right now is as unpredictable as Melbourne weather past week?
I think so. I said a bit earlier, the curator said the wicket's perfect. But
you said that with a grin and you left.
Well, I mean, he knows how to roll the wicket better than I do, but I'll take his word for it. But I'm not sure it's as good as they want it to be out there at the moment. As the next one, Elaine sweeps down to mid-wicket, and there's no run. That's the reason why the World 11 elected to bat, because they'd seen the teams have struggled to chase and thought it may become more challenging the longer the day goes on. 2 for 60 over. They haven't got enough at the moment.
But I like the fact that the games have been brought forward by half an hour. Otherwise,
yes,
the cricketers were packing night vision goggles to play cricket.
Well, correct.
That's not a good place to be if you have a night vision goggles in a kit bag.
Owen bowls,
Gently,
and he gives it here, and it's turned around the corner, noodled aggressively around the corner to deep backward square for another single, but just not enough boundaries at the moment. In fact, no boundaries at the moment. 14 gone. The World 11 not losing wickets. 2 for 69. Elaine is 15, and Pushpanda Jassel is also on 15. They've only lost the 2 wickets so far, and of course our major sponsor is Oswood Timber and Hardware for the Aussie Cricket League for 2022. Gainwright Accountant, Exclusive Migration, the great man Harry Singh who's organised this, that's his business, and Spectrum Real Estate Group, and our platinum sponsors include Sunrise, Adelaide Transport, Reliance, and also Amul. Some wonderful sponsors jumping on board like they did last year for this tournament that continues to grow and grow and grow.
It's a relaxed dugout at the moment. It's a relaxed dugout at the moment. And I think they're just waiting for the launch pad to be created. So that
needs to be launched soon. Well, he tried to launch, but he went for the slog sweep over the onside with the wind.
Fawad Malook lives in a different dimension altogether. There's nothing called hurry in his dictionary.
He's bowling outside that off stump. Gives us one air. This time it's hit high. It's hit long. Has he got enough of it? He's done a magnificent job to knock that in play. He went over the fence or over the rope, and he's brought it back into play and got it on the second grab. I thought it had enough on it from Giselle then, but not enough. An outstanding catch by the fielder. As I say, he managed to knock it into play. He went over the rope and he knocked it sufficiently into play to come back and get it on the second grab. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, didn't get enough bat on it. Still should have been taken, as it was in the air for a long time. Fawad Malook's looking the other way. The fielder's looking the other way. Yeah. Well, I think perhaps he could use a bit of GD bat repair by Geeth. Get that different bat, get that different piece of willow. Fawad Malook's done everything right. He's generating opportunities, but those are not being converted into wickets. Buttery fingers?
Well, that's true. I mean, we saw 2 misses in the previous over, but that's outstanding, isn't it? They've obviously practiced that. I mean, that's one of the fielding skills that they practice, don't they, where they do well. And I just was trying to remember what it was that's around the boundary. Of course, it is the rope, and he did magnificently well, the fielder out there at deep mid-wicket, to keep the ball in play. He went over the rope and made sure the ball wasn't anywhere near him, and he knocked it up sufficiently enough to go back and get it. And that's what it's all about. If you can do that and practice and practice and practice. And this one has actually bowled the batter as he faces first ball, and it was almost matter of fact, we've bowled him. There is absolutely no excitement at all from the Pakistanis, and Fawad Malook is going to be on a hat-trick as Sathish has been bowled out for a golden duck. It's 4 for 69.
Once again, keeping it simple, not letting pressure get to him at all. Fawad Malook is one of the best pieces of bowling. He's not giving runs in double digits, but he's picking up wickets at regular intervals despite catches being put down in his bowling, and some of them brilliantly taken as well. Gatry needs to provide the big finish here. He's got the build for it, he's got the game for it, and for a bat sometimes he brings out a sledgehammer too. Loves to plonk his front foot away from the body, create enough room for the bat to come through so that the ball can be sent sailing.
Gurpratap Singh, most of these players, of course, from Sydney.
They've got a slip in place.
Yeah, they have.
It's
a whitish slip, yes. And on the back foot, he pushes into the offside, and there's no run. This has been an outstanding spell by Fawad Malook. He's just varied up his pace. He's varied up his length.
It was one of the most innocuous shots in the entire game.
Now he goes down the ground here, but it's a bat into Shu, and he's out caught. He missed the hat trick, but he gets another wicket. And he just walks off like, oh, well, it's another wicket, and the Pakistanis just stand there, stunned.
Fawad Malook, the wicket machine. Gary Guru Pratap closing the face of the bat a little too early, and a simple catch inside the circle. It's game over. World 11 are losing momentum by losing wickets at regular intervals. You don't want to be looking at the worm. It'll look like a caterpillar now because runs aren't coming. The dots are being accumulated.
He was looking to swing that on the onside, and he hit it into his boot, and it balloons up on the offside, and it was comfortably taken.
Triple wicket maiden on offer. Do we have that here? For the first time in ACL 2.0. Triple wicket maiden.
I don't remember it too often in T20 cricket. Fawad Malook dominating here, 3 for 9. And this has been an outstanding spell, putting his name up in lights already for man of the match, and we're only, 15 overs into the match?
Final delivery of his spell.
5 for 69. This game is turned on its head. And, it takes a little bit of bounce there, and there's not much that Mohammad Irfan, who's about 10 feet tall, could do about that. And he was beaten outside the off stump by one that, turned and also bounced appreciably. What an over that was by Fawad Malook. He's taken 3 wickets, and his figures are 3 for 9 after 4 overs, and that could be a match-winning spell. The World 11, 5 for 69 after 15. Anthony Elaine is still there. There's going to be a double change. Pete Laser's coming in and Darren Parkin.
Yeah, 3 wickets that have fallen. We'll just leave them with that. The first one, of course, an excellent juggling catch with great boundary awareness. Second one skidded through. The middle stump was knocked a little back. And that's all it required. He very silently comes up and picks up wickets. Fawad Malook, there's nothing flashy about him. Just get the job done is his motto. And then top of off stump, just what the coaches order you to do. Little could the batter do on that occasion either. Closing the face of the bat a little early was Gary, and leaving the crease a little early was Gary to go back to the pavilion. The simplest of catches for the captain of Pakistan 11. Change in voices. We've got Darren and Pete.
So as Aziz comes back into the attack as that one's worked down for a run. I've actually picked up the 2022 Christmas edition of the Cricket Dictionary, and they've actually got maiden, double wicket maiden, and then a Scott Boland, which is a triple wicket maiden. So he's just bowled a Boland.
That's when you know you're doing well.
That's right. It's actually that they've changed the name of that in cricket. A triple wicket maiden is a Boland.
Well, half his name is what he does.
That's right.
Boland, what? We need another word there. Boland, 3 wickets.
Scott bowl him out or something of that nature. But Aziz back into the attack. Terrific spell from
Dan
Fawad.
and have taken all the wickets there. They've taken all the highlights for the last couple of in one over.
Well, it's a strange game. Obviously, the World 11 set a good platform in the power play, then lost 2 quick wickets. Then they started to rebuild and then lost 3 quick wickets as Aziz continues. That stayed low. We've seen that happen every couple of overs through this whole tournament. There's one that just hits a certain part of the pitch and, as we say, doesn't quite Greg Blue at it, but it goes pretty low. It's hard to get that away.
After 14, all of a sudden you're thinking we're okay. We've got a platform we can build. 3 for none in an over. And then with 5 overs to go, you've got 7 coming out to bat. Even though there's good depth in these sides, there's a reason that players are batting at 7 and not the top 4 or 5.
And obviously they've got the established player had to watch at the other end as the wickets fell. They need to get Anthony on strike here into this 16th over, and a bit of pace that time, zipping that through and no run. So Pakistan turning the match on its head in the last 9 deliveries. World 11 at 2 for 69 or 14 would have been thinking 115, 120 potentially. Now 3 figures would be a good result.
At least have the opportunity to get to 3 figures, and 120 we've seen is defendable.
Would probably put you slightly ahead in the game on the evidence of the first 2 days, although obviously the difference between 120 and 125 decided the outcome of last night's match. Aziz continues. This one's nudged into the offside through that point region. Good quick running, and he wanting to get himself down on strike. There's been carnage everywhere at the other end, and he just wants to take a couple of deliveries and settle things down.
Tell you what also will be pleasing Pakistan, they're on time with their overs. Not only does that please Pakistan, that pleases everyone.
We still haven't been confronted with a scenario that I think you floated. What happens if the team bowling second is slow? Because they could have come off the ground yesterday and said, well, you've won by 2 runs, but you actually haven't. You've lost by 3. as just stepping away, trying to ramp this one over the top. Might have got a tickle on that through past the keeper along the ground. They'll get at least 2 for that. And again, players backing away, trying to play that ramp. I haven't seen that come off at any stage of the tournament.
So we had a little, without talking out of school, we had a little chat at the back, and we were just talking about how the shots you remember and the best shots are the best cricket shots.
Yep.
Because you base your game around that, and that's what you grow up with. It doesn't mean that you can't play the 360. And those 360 shots are great to manipulate the field. They don't need to manipulate the field. They need to score runs. You need to play proper cricket shots and actually get away here. Manipulate the field once you're on top.
So Aziz to bowl the last ball of his 3rd over, and that one is little bottom edge down into the ground, bounces into the keeper's gloves and concludes the over. 4 runs from it, 5 for 73. Now I know Aaron Finch, for example, can ramp occasionally, but most of his boundaries come from pull shots, straight drives, cover drives, on drives. It's the way you're taught to play, basically.
I've had many a discussion with the Melbourne Stars captain, who's out injured at the moment, Glenn Maxwell, about this, and he gets so frustrated with the commentary about, why did he reverse sweep that one and he went out on it? But the fielder's only there because he's trying to play those shots. So you've only got 9 fielders to put out there. So what he's trying to do is change where you put the fielder so he can play the cover drives and the pull shots.
Yeah, if I ramp it, they'll take cover out and put him there, and then I'll smoke the next one through the offside.
It's one of those questions about the devil. The best thing he ever did was convince people he wasn't alive.
That's
That's
right.
what it is. Convince them that there's only 9 spots you can put him, and you're watching these batters who are obviously at the top of the game. You need 15 blokes out there to cover the spots.
And Maxi's one of those players that captains are going to chase him if he's hitting boundaries. They're going to be throwing fielders wherever he's playing his shots, and that's curled around the corner. That was nicely played as he picked the gap sufficiently. He has. The fielder got pretty close to it, but hit it with nice pace, good timing, and he gets a really badly needed boundary for his side.
In Muhammad Amir's defence, it didn't look like he gave everything. Look, when he bowls the quick one and he bends his back, they're quick. This one sat up and was ready to be hit. His first ball of a new spell. Just helped us on its way as well. Didn't really have to do too much.
You discussed off air before the danger of hitting Muhammad Amir for 4 with the first ball of an over. There'll be a bit of venom, you'd think, on the next couple. Comes in relatively short run up, and he did square him up, and he's caught. And there you go. That was a short bit of chin music. He's got into the rib cage just under the chin. All he could do was fend it off at pace. And you don't hit Muhammad Amir for 4 off the first ball of an over because there's going to be some heat.
We have literally had this conversation 2 overs ago, and I said, if you're going to hit Amir for a 4, do it late. I mean, I know that's simplifying, but that one was shorter, it was quicker, he bent his back. That would have got players within, no offence, of course, right? We're 11, but that would have got better players caught on the crease. What a beautiful delivery. It's a bit of a 3-card trick.
It's a real trick as to how quick these guys are. That wasn't much of a run-up. He sort of strolled in. He certainly wasn't busting his back to get in there, but it's all in the release and the timing. It was just lightning out of the hands, just dug it in short, surprised the batsman, and he's gone.
So now the skipper comes in for the World 11. We saw him out in the middle. He won the toss, selected to bat first. He wasn't confident in the team that he didn't know a huge amount about chasing. Well, now he's walking out to Muhammad Amir, who's just bent his back and has sent the batsman packing with a very good delivery. And that smile wasn't there 2 balls ago, but it's there now, and I don't mind it. I love seeing quick bowlers just fire up.
He's got his tail up here. He's got 10 balls left in his innings, and he's got another top edge there. Akmal should take the catch, and for the second time in the innings, it is a hat-trick on.
When I was saying don't hit Amir for a boundary early in the over, that was just for the batter that was in. I didn't think the skipper would then try and whip one away. Top edge. It's not clever batting, it's fair to say. He didn't try and over-hit it, so that's one thing. But he did. No, he really swung hard. And when you first walk out there, I just don't think that's smart batting. And there's still 3.5 overs to go. You've got 21 more chances to score the runs. So Muhammad Amir now is on a hat-trick. We haven't seen a hat-trick in Aussie Cricket League 2.0.
What does he do here? Does he just try to knock off stump out of the ground, or does he do what's worked the last 2 deliveries and dig it in a little bit?
Well, there's been times I would love to have been Muhammad Amir and be able to bowl 140k in-swinging Yorkers. He's bowling at number 9 with a ball that's only 16.5 overs old.
Just try to hit the
He's
stumps.
as fresh as a daisy. He's bowled 15 deliveries. I'm Muhammad Amir. I am steaming in, bowling an in-swinging Yorker, cartwheeling middle and off.
Second time in 3 overs, hat-trick on. Muhammad Amir, the star, and he just hammers it towards that off stump, but just didn't quite get it on line. Zipped it through with pace, and it's a dot ball.
Sajid Kazir just pretending that he left that one outside off stump, and no one is buying what he's selling there. That was in Cameron Akmal's gloves before he'd even put the bat above.
Yeah, if that was on line with off stump, then off stump would still be cartwheeling.
He's in trouble here. That was too quick for him. Slip in place. I like it.
So you should try to do the same thing again here, and again it's a little shorter there. That's probably hit him right in the glove. Just popped down the track, had no control over that. 7 for 77. So the thought of the World 11 at the end of the 14th over at 2 for 50 or 2 for 69, not batting their overs, was hard to fathom, but it's possible.
Muhammad Amir here, he's got to hit him in the stumps. I think that's how he's going to knock him over. I don't think he's going to play too many shots. He's just looking to get through this over, and then they'll deal with the last 3.
Yeah, we'll have a chat mid-pitch at the end of the over and get down the other end for a ball or two. Muhammad Amir comes in to close out the 17th over and took a little bit of pace off that. Just tried to deceive him a little bit, just a little bit.
He didn't just take a little bit, he put the handbrake on. That was almost going backwards. He had a parachute that was just coming down the wicket that slowly, but he gets through, a wry smile, he's just happy to get there. 7 for 77 after 17. Can they get 23? Can they scrounge 23 from the last 18? You always talk about that mental mark or something that they've got to defend.
Well, Pakistan, no, obviously 93 became 103, and you reckon that would have gave them a little shot in the arm of belief, and they obviously got down to the last ball there. Obviously, it all sits on Anthony Lane here to get them to 100 if it is to be.
He needs to do it, and he's got to go soon. Has bowled well, though.
So Aziz to bowl the last of his 4 overs, and again, pace. They've balanced this attack really well. Pace, then spin with effect, back into the pace with Amir and Aziz to finish their spells. Is there a cricketing expression somewhere around the world for 7 for 77? I know there's 11 with Lord Nelson and the Australians hate 87, and I don't know if there's some symmetry in that. We've got the 2 for 22, which is the Richie.
The bowling team's just that happy that they're 7 for 77, so they don't care. The batting team's in that much trouble, they probably don't think about it either, so.
The bowling team probably calls it winning at 7 for 77.
It's a common phrase.
So Aziz comes in again and good pace, and Anthony, who's got to be the one who's ticking the scoreboard over, has been beaten twice.
Have you found this more with cricket now, certainly with T20 cricket? Remember when you're growing up and someone who didn't know anything about cricket would say,
who's winning? Yeah.
It was so annoying.
Yeah.
Whereas now, it's actually sort of common vernacular.
Yeah, that's right.
And maybe it is the databases and so forth that's given us windies and these
You had to try to give a nerdy answer if they asked you, saying, well, only one team's batted, but they're going all right, the bowling team's on top. Now you can just be like, probably Pakistan are winning it at this stage. So Aziz comes in, that's gone up in the air. They'll raffle who catches this. They leave it for the bowler, and he does his own work. It's almost got away from him in the air. He took it on the dive. He had the fielder coming in from cover who could have caught that. Mid-off could have caught that. They left it for the bowler. He did his own work, made it look a little bit artistic, and it's 8 for 77.
That's a really good catch. It did just keep going away from him in the breeze too. It had the breeze, it got underneath it, and he kept going away. I really like that catch from Aziz Ali. He really gives everything. He's a passionate cricketer. You can see it when he runs up and delivers. His quicker one is shorter and quicker. That one he set across. He got a big piece of it, but did go vertical. What you can't see there, and you can see it right now, beautiful camera work. That's fantastic work from our gurus here. That's a great catch. He has covered 25 metres with the ball going away from him the whole time. 8 for 77 now, and Aziz gets a deserved wicket. I think he's bowled really well.
Unless the keeper is in the vicinity, you'll notice with a bowler, it doesn't matter how many fielders come in, he'll take it upon himself to take that catch, unless the guy with the gloves can get there.
And you know why?
Yeah.
Because he cares.
Yeah, that's right.
So they say, if you had someone to bowl for your life, I'd choose this guy. You know, I'd choose my mum. She may not be as good, but at least she'd care.
That's exactly right. The fielder will drop a catch and go, oh, that's a bit embarrassing. Wander off to the mark, whereas the bowler's like, well, that's cost me a pole.
Yeah, and don't worry, the club championship points too for a caught
Absolutely.
They don't get more than that.
So Aziz,
deservedly so. That's a great catch.
Definitely.
Well bowled Aziz.
He deserved to have one in the column, and he's got 3 deliveries to get another one here as they've well and truly put the clamps on the World 11. And he's got another one here. He's got a tickle through, and that's another hat trick on. That's 3 times in 4 overs that a bowler, and 3 different bowlers, mind you, are going to be on a hat trick. But this one with a double bonus that it could end the innings.
I've never seen that. I've never seen
No.
three separate bowlers in the same innings be on a hat trick.
No.
Never ever have I seen that. And we've seen a lot of cricket.
And one of them actually got 3 and 4 balls.
They have fallen in clumps. And when we talk about not losing wickets in clumps, that has swung a bit too.
Oof.
That's a very good delivery.
That's a beautiful dismissal.
He's actually done very well just to get bat on that. I would have missed that by half a foot.
So absolutely, that would have been far too good. But looking at the scorecard here, they've lost 7 for 8. They were 2 for 69. The World 11, 9 for 77. They've lost 7 for 8.
I've lost, and we just see Harry Singh and his team at the back. They are in absolute disbelief this has happened, because this is the World 11 who were 2 for 69, 7 for 8 they've lost.
And they've
The
got,
scorers who are doing a very good job, can't believe it.
and he's got number 11 to bowl to here. So again, we spoke about Muhammad Amir getting a really good look at a hat trick. Aziz Allah will get a very good look at a hat trick bowling at number 11 here. It's like when Shane Warne knew that he had, who did he have coming out? Devin Malcolm. He thought, I'm a big chance here, surely.
Oh, surely. And everyone gave him a bit of advice too. It's amazing how much advice bowlers get about what they should do with the hat trick ball. They're the ones on the hat trick. Let them bowl it.
The symmetry around that in a moment, but we'll call this hat trick ball. Aziz in there, and that's run down. He'll actually get a run for it. He gets off the mark, but
He actually played a proper cricket shot. He actually looked at the delivery and played it on its merits. Who would have thought that was a way of batting?
so David Boone took the catch. Shane Warne got the hat trick. And Tony Gregg was the commentator, and then Tony Gregg, who passed a few years ago, passed on the anniversary. So Tony Gregg passed on the anniversary of calling the hat trick off Shane Warne, which was also David Boone's birthday.
It's his birthday as well, wasn't
yeah,
it? Yeah.
Remarkable, the connection of that moment.
Do you reckon Booney would have celebrated?
I think the ball hasn't landed yet. He threw it into orbit after he took the catch. I'm not sure it's actually come down. Aziz to close out his spell, and potentially the innings. That was a little bit too straight on the pads, and they'll get another run for that. So 18 overs down. World 11, unfortunately, in tatters now at 9 for 79.
You know what that ball was from Aziz Allah? That was, I've taken a couple of wickets and I'm going to absolutely hone in on middle stump and try and knock him over. There was no thought for any plans or any team oriented. It was, I'm going to knock this guy over and I'm better than him. Which, the way he's been bowling, I'm probably back in
Yeah, that's a fair enough.
Yeah, I don't
fair
mind
enough
it.
assessment. So 2 overs left. At this stage, the odds would be against us getting through all 12 of those deliveries. Pakistan, they bowled very well. They had India scrambling to make 103 the other day, and now they've got the World 11. It could be the first time we've seen a team bowled out.
Well, they're going to, I mean, even if they can scrounge another 10 or 12 or something from these 12 deliveries.
Muhammad Amir hungry for a 3rd wicket here to start the 19th over, and again played with soft hands, identical to the run with which he got off the mark in the previous, and it's 9 for 80.
You would have to back Muhammad Amir here. He bowled a beautiful 3rd over. His first over was quite good also. Only went for a couple, but came back in and got hit for a boundary early, and then all of a sudden went bang, bang. Now he's bowling at 10 and jack. It suggests it's in his favour.
3 for 12 would be nice figures. So 2 for 12. He's got 5 balls left to finish the innings. He looks hungry. Man, with 119 test wickets, that's not a bad shot. Pushed through mid-wicket. It was a little straight from Muhammad Amir. And these two have only been out there for a handful of deliveries, but they've actually played a couple of decent shots. 9 for 81.
I will say this also. It's a good way of making sure that you don't get penalised runs for being slow in the over rate.
Bowl them out. Yeah.
If you can bowl them out, that'd be the best way of making sure that you get through your 20 or not even the 20. 9 for 81. Muhammad Amir.
Arun Shahan is on 2, Sajjad is on 1 and on strike, and this one's cut through the vacant slips region, and Aziz, who took the 2 wickets in the previous over, does the fielding.
You know I like a bit of aggressive captaincy. They are just gliding and using the pace and propping forward. I'd be putting in a gully or a 4th slip. Just take that shot away and say, right, I want to see another
100%.
shot.
Give them something to think about.
Played 4 identical shots for the 4 runs that they've got, which has been good batting, mind you. Oh, look, there he goes. He comes around. Don't mind it.
There we go. So in a little bit closer to... He's probably unlikely to catch it there, but he'll certainly stop them from
Now, I'll take a step up from
score.
there.
Yeah.
Get in the catchable zone.
Although the pace from Amir might get some carry on that one, and that one zips through, and he almost tickles it, but too good a delivery, and Akmal takes it in the gloves, no run.
That was a bit quick. That certainly zipped through. They're the ones, if they find the radar on the stumps, it's going to be very difficult to keep out. And again, you're batting at 10 and 11. Like, that's fair enough.
Absolutely. Mohamed Amir's...
At least they've shown something.
We've seen Mohamed Amir cause problems for the Ricky Pontings and the like at international level. So no disgrace if you're added to that list, as that one's played really nicely actually through the covers, and it's probably going to go all the way to the boundary. It's just going to get hauled in inside. It pulled up a little bit on the outfield here. They'll take it on for 3. Mohamed Amir whips off the bails. He'll be a little bit disappointed with that as he gives up 3. 9 for 85.
Repair bats, but I'm not sure about clicking in time.
So 1 run for 1 ball for Mohamed Amir to pick up a 3rd wicket. He'll close out his spell and the 19th over, and that fielding change has already saved a run coming into that sort of deep slip position, and it is Shakil Afridi who denies them a single.
So Mohamed Amir finishes with 2 for 17. It is funny because batters would look at that and think, well, I need to change my shot.
Mm-hmm.
Tail enders, 10 and 11 just go, well,
they've only got a couple. Yeah, they've only got a couple.
I've only got 2 or 3 that I can play, and that's one of them, so I'm going to keep playing it and hope it gets through. But at least they've shown something here. Losing it, I still can't believe it when you said it, but you're exactly right. 7 for 8 they lost. So at least Sajjad and Aaron have looked like they belong out there and have knuckled down a little bit to get something on the board. I don't know if we're going to reach the magical 3-figure mark, which traditionally wouldn't be enough in a T20 comp, but who knows? I mean, the World 11 will come out firing. They're going to give it everything. And Pakistan, well, they want to make sure that they're a chance for the final, the semi-finals, and the only way they can do that is by winning this game. So I can't see them wanting this game to go deep. I think they'll come out and have a genuine crack at chasing them down quickly. 2
of the 3 matches have been won by the side batting first, but that was with 131 and 124, so the World 11 are going to be short of that certainly. Butt comes back into the attack, zips one through, stayed low, good pace. He's yet to take a wicket. He's bowled okay. He had one over that was fairly expensive. The first one was pretty good.
Well, let it be said, if World 11 can defend this total, they thoroughly deserve their spot in the semi-final, which is up for grabs. This is almost like a mini elimination final. They'll get another chance, of course, World 11, if they can't defend it.
Whereas Pakistan simply must win, as that one's cut away in the air. That's not a bad shot, that, from batsmen 10 and 11 coming to the crease. They've looked as comfortable as anyone out there this afternoon. And 9 for 89.
This is what happens when bowlers come on after seeing all of their teammates take wickets. This is what happens. He comes in and really strives and works hard. It was short, it was wide. There wasn't a huge amount of room there, but enough to get in and under and hit it for 4. Yubabat is searching for wickets as opposed to just doing what his skipper and his coach would want, which is the team thing, full and straight, bowl to your field.
And he's been the one who's had a loose over, so he probably feels that he's searching for a bit of rhythm, whereas the others have been in the zone the whole way through. But comes in again, and that one's gone through and down for another boundary.
Not much you can do about that.
That was just pace.
That's going to make Butt very upset, though, because he hasn't done a huge amount wrong.
Just zipped it through with pace, the old Frenchie, as they say. They say the French are responsible for a lot in cricket.
You're responsible for a lot in the world, but that's raced away for 4, and all of a sudden they're 93.
Responsible for a lot in a game they don't play.
90, not the highest level.
No, that's right. 93 for 9, and that one's a Yorker length delivery that's dug out pretty well. So, but that was a good response from getting hit for 4 in consecutive deliveries, but handled really well.
16 this partnership.
13 or 7.
When every run is crucial, this has been fantastic. What an effort. They've lost 7 for 8, and then the last 2 have put on 16 so far with 2 more chances.
And Pakistan will know when their innings finished the other night. It was 9 for 93. They got the 10-run bonus. So this is territory they have seen, as that one is lofted. It's not quite going to have the carry. It lands a couple of metres in front the fielder there. And that was Afridi who came in again. So 9 for 94. So they're going to have to clear the rope to bring 100 up off this last ball. And it's not Arun on strike. He's 14 off 9. And really nice little cameo. But Sajid Kassir is going to have to clear the pickets if they are to get 3 figures here. And swing and a miss outside off stump. They scamper through for a run and they run out. So they will be bowled out off the last ball. They had to run, so certainly can't blame Arun for trying to get down the other end. Well done by Cameron Akmal to throw him down. And the World 11 are bowled out off the last delivery of the innings for 94. Terrific effort for Pakistan to take the last 8 wickets for 25. And they'll feel pretty confident as they go to the dugout that they can win this game.
It's amazing when you say 8 for 25 and they'll be a little bit disappointed because it was 7 for 8 and that last partnership was worth 25 and worth 17, and that's quite a handy partnership. Well done by Akmal, as you said. That was just good composure.
Didn't even take the glove off, just lobbed it.
95 to win for Pakistan. You'd have to say that they are in front in this game.
Definitely. If someone was to wander in and say who's winning, the answer would still be Pakistan.
I don't think anyone will here because everyone seems like a cricket lover. We've got Woolworths Cricket Blast kids. We've got a lot of passionate Pakistan supporters that are here as well. The pick of the bowls for mine, Fuad Maluk, with 3 for 9 from his 4. He changed the game. 3 wickets all in the same over with his Scotty Boland over. So he's done well, but as Pakistan will know, the job is only half done. And it may come down to net run rate as well to get into the semi-finals. Because if the World 11 go and beat India, then we're going to see the table come forward. So Pakistan, I don't think will stand on ceremony here. I think when we see the chase in 15 minutes' time, Pakistan will give it absolutely everything, and they need to get onto the winners list.
And chase within a chase, maybe 15's a number. They might look at it and go, if we can get these in 15, then we're in a really good position with our net run rate to secure our way through. They're doing the running repairs on the wicket out there for Pakistan's chase, which isn't far away. We'll take a break and return with that shortly. 95 for Pakistan to stay in the tournament.
What an incredibly exciting bowling over it was. In the end there, it started off quite slow, but you guys just knocked wickets over like it was nothing in the end there, didn't you? Must have been happy with that.
Yeah, I think first of all credit goes to their batter, the way they started, because wicket was tricky early on, but at the end I think covered well. It's honestly it's a tough score to chase. Wicket is very tricky, but I think we did a very good job as a team, but still I think we need a proper batting because as you know, in the first game we didn't bat well, but as I said, it's a tricky wicket. We need to bat deep.
You mentioned that the team did well. You yourself had, where is it here, 2 for 17. Fawad Malook, 3 wickets, only 9 runs. That's incredible. That's what has made that score so achievable for you guys to chase. And of course, Aziz Ullah 2 for 13 as well. And of course, the captain got 1 for 4 as well. You mentioned it. Teamwork is really what's helped you out there today.
Yep, as you said, we did a good job in the bowling. But if you look at our fielding side today, it was I think fantastic. We took all the catches. I think apart from 1 catch. And in T20, fielding is very important. As a bowler, as a bowling unit, but the second job is the fielding, and we did a good job as a fielding side also.
Sure did, and the next job is to go out there and bat, and you're chasing 95, so good luck to you and your team.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mohammed Aziz. Coming in next, I believe, is Fawad Malouk for an interview because he had an absolutely incredibly exciting bowling over. Come on in.
थैंक यू वेरी मच समांता. सो हमारे साथ जुड़ चुके हैं फवाद मलूक. फवाद भाई, गेंद आज हरकत पता नहीं कर रही थी या नहीं, लेकिन ज़रूर मैजिकल डिलीवरीज थे आपके.
बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम. विकेट स्पिन विकेट थी, तो जहाँ पे बॉल करना था तो वहीं पे मैंने बॉलिंग डाला और ब्रेक हो रहा था, तो सपोर्टिंग विकेट थी स्पिन के लिए, तो वो कैच हो गया. ये
जिस तरीके से आप अपना वक्त लेते हैं एक डिलीवरी और दूसरे के बीच में, आपने थोड़ी सी डैनियल विटोरी की झलक है, क्या वो मानते हैं?
हाँ, बस वो पहले से हम देखते थे पाकिस्तान का जुल्फ़िकार बाबर विटोरी, ये आइडियल थे जब हमने क्रिकेट स्टार्ट किया लेफ्ट आर्म स्पिनर, तो वही देख के आज आपके सामने.
ऐसे मंच पर खेल के आपको कितना मज़ा आता है और इतनी अच्छी एक्सपोजर भी मिलती है. ACL 2.0 के बारे में बताइए.
हाँ, इसी तरह इवेंट हमारे लोगों के लिए बहुत अच्छा है, क्योंकि हम ओवरसीज़ क्रिकेट इधर क्लब क्रिकेट खेलते हैं. श्रीलंका से भी आते हैं, इंडिया से, पाकिस्तान से, दूसरे मुल्कों से भी आते, लेकिन एशियन प्लेयर बहुत आते हैं क्लब के लिए. ये समर है तो ये ब्रेक में जो क्रिसमस की छुट्टियाँ होती है, ये टूर्नामेंट ऑर्गेनाइज होता है, तो ये बहुत अच्छी है. तो इसी तरह इवेंट में लोग ये अपने मुल्क के लिए भी ये एक प्लेटफॉर्म है, इधर भी एक अपॉर्चुनिटी मिल सकती है. तो इसी तरह एनवायरनमेंट में आपको अपने आप को मतलब यूटिलाइज करना है और शो करना है, तो ये एक अच्छा मौका है, एक अच्छा प्लेटफॉर्म है.
बीच में कप्तान से क्या बातचीत हो रही थी, क्योंकि आप फील्ड चेंज में बहुत बिलीव कर रहे थे ओवर के बीच में?
हाँ, असल में विकेट रीड होने पे आपको फिर पता चलता है कि मेरा बॉल बल्ले पे लग के कहाँ जाएगा, तो आप अंडरस्टैंड करो, तो फिर आप और उसका कम्युनिकेशन बन जाता है, तो वहीं पे फिर आप वो अंडरस्टैंड हो जाए तो फिर कम्बिनेशन बन जाती है.
मलूक भाई, वैसे टूर्नामेंट की अच्छी शुरुआत रही है, बल्ले के साथ भी 33 रन आए थे उस दिन, और अब 3 विकेट चटका चुके हैं एक ही ओवर में, तो आप बार हाई सेट करते हैं अपने लिए?
हाँ, बस अभी यूज हो रहा है ना, तो कम्बिनेशन भी हमारी टीम की हो रही है. असल में ये टाइम बहुत कम था हमारी टीम कंबाइन हो जाए, तो आज जो टीम है मेरे ख्याल में कम्बिनेशन भी अच्छी जा रही है, तो देखते हैं इंशाल्लाह आगे टूर्नामेंट में फाइनल देखते हैं, इंशाल्लाह खेलेंगे, इंशाल्लाह उम्मीद है हमारी टीम का.
बेहतरीन गेंदबाजी. ऑल द बेस्ट फॉर द रेस्ट ऑफ द गेम एज वेल.
थैंक यू.
फवाद मलूक.
तो जैसे आप एंड में फिनिश कर रहे हो ना,
in the replay. The Pakistan team can have their first win of the tournament. Lots of wickets fell. And they were disappointing the World 11 in the end as they lost their last 8 wickets for just 25. And there were 3 times that the Pakistanis were on hat-tricks. They didn't get them. There was one over from Farwood, who's probably leading the race for man of the match. 3 for 9. He took 3 wickets in 4 balls. And they need 95 runs in 20 overs. All out for 94. And Suhas is with me. Can they defend this?
Thank you, Dan. Well, early wickets are key here. We've seen that anything can happen. For a start, we haven't seen any bonus runs being added. Yeah, anything can happen in ACL 2.0. It's very difficult to predict. But what we've seen so far is nail biters after nail biters, Dan. And this one can be another one in case wickets fall at regular intervals. Yusuf wouldn't want to subscribe to that idea. He's looking for a good start for his country. 95 and 20 is a little under par. You have to say that though, Dan.
Well, Pakistan were under par the other night, of course, and India lost 10 runs due to a slow over rate. And Baba not batting. Whether that helps them or hinders them remains to be seen. Not playing for Pakistan today, will it hinder them?
Mentally, I don't think so, because they walked out, they strode out with all the confidence that they can carry. And since they played a lot of cricket at this level, they understand the importance of picking each other up with the available resources. First ball.
Here's Mohammad Irfan in, and just straight away he cuts the batter in half. Yusuf thinks about a run. Certainly his opponent had backed up his teammate, had backed up a long, long way, Shaquille. And Yusuf says, you better get back. He's a big, big man, Mohammad Irfan Jr.
Absolutely is. With him, extra bounce is synonymous, and that's exactly why the slip-in players will be very interested. Almost took the shoulder of the bat. Yeah, you said it right. It cut him in half, and the moment that it jacked back in.
It's an interesting bowling action, isn't it? It's almost like, and I was discussing with you when you went out to interview in his native language, Farwood, who's taken 3 for 9,
right,
and he's got that side-on action. I was talking about Max Walker, former Australian cricketer in the 70s. He's almost bowling off the wrong foot with the windmill action. Irfan Jr., it's fascinating action, actually.
Yeah, so Hill Tanveer took it to the next level for Pakistan. And Irfan Senior as well, if you would see. The 7-footer and a bit more than that.
Must be the tallest player.
Yeah, the tallest player.
Yes.
And it almost feels like the ball's coming from the first floor.
Oh.
You look at him as well, he has a very different kind of an action, something that the coaches haven't touched upon, and for the right reasons.
He's in again, and it's pushed down along the onside, behind square. They make a bit of a meal of that, the World 11 with the fielding. They're just not switched on. And they make a bad error in the field. Really should have done better than that, as Yusuf tucked it around the corner. Could have been stopped, and there could have been no runs, but there were 2 from the misfield.
Very good delivery first up, and then the second one that followed was excellent indeed. Pakistan 11 are not getting any free runs. They're being made to work hard for their runs. Mohammad Irfan Jr., we've seen a lot of him in the US as well, as he played for the Silicon Valley Strikers.
Pushed down along the offside again, bowling right on line to the stacked offside field. The World 11 determined for their bowlers to bowl well to their field. Suhas, none for 2.
I was surprised with where exactly the slip fielder is standing. Sometimes, is it the illusion of carry? Is the ball carrying that much otherwise? He's an auto rickshaw right away.
Well, some of the bowlers have been bowling really quickly, and the keepers have been standing back. We saw the Indian left-armers the other night. He's not as quick, but he's getting plenty of bounce, the big man. But on that occasion, that virtually rolled to the wicket-keeper, didn't quite take it cleanly.
And this is the delivery that will cause more concerns, because with the first one, he's already told the world that he can bounce a little bit more.
Yeah.
This one pitching almost in a similar area, but not bouncing as much. 95 can be made to look like 115.
Well, I think that's why the World 11 decided to bat first. I'm sure that they would have been hoping for that extra 20, Suhas, to get it to 115, and that would have made it more interesting. But they need a wicket. He's playing Premier Cricket in New South Wales, Mohamed Irfan Jr., and again outside the off stump. Squeezed into the offside, and he faced all the deliveries in that over Yusuf. Shaquille will get a chance now. It's none for 2. It was an outstanding bowling performance by Pakistan after the World 11 were cruising. Probably not batting quick enough, were they? 2 for 69, and then it just fell apart.
I thought they were caught in two minds when to attack and whether it's a good time to attack or no. And by the time they kept delaying the assault, they also were losing wickets at regular intervals. The momentum was absolutely knocked off, and they could only manage 94. They can still make a meal of it. They can still make a game of it, but the wickets have to be taken at regular intervals, and Mohamed Irfan Jr. has shown signs of picking up a wicket first up.
Well, they lost 7 for 8. Lots of ducks in there, and there were 3 times where players were on hat-tricks. And of course, we saw Farwood get 3 wickets in 4 balls. There was that great catch out in the deep where the player went over the rope but kept the ball in play, knocked it back, and again, that's a great skill. I think they worked very hard on getting that right, as I mentioned it earlier. Suhas.
He got 9 for 3, and isn't that testimony to consistency in cricket? He's bowling well all throughout, just was at it, and in 1 over he got 3.
Yeah, fantastic performance. And this is Mohammad Yasir, who played 1 test for Pakistan, coming in off a short runner. That was against Bangladesh back in 2003. Took 2 for 55. And it's pushed into the offside. The field's pretty deep. The wicketkeeper's standing up, and they scamper through for a run. So Shaquille, off his second ball, gets a run. It's none for 3. The current run rate's only 2.25. Don't worry about that yet. 4.93 the required run rate.
But do you think you're tempted sometimes when you're not chasing a very difficult total? Are you tempted sometimes to over-attack in the first 6 to try and squash the game then and there?
Well, I think so. Yeah, maybe. But they need to get their net run rate up to put a lot of pressure, of course, on the Indians, don't they? In their endeavours to win tonight, and then the World 11 plays India tomorrow. If they can win quickly, it'll certainly help their cause.
Slip and play still.
Yes. And this is short outside the off stump, and it's driven nicely through the covers. And that'll go to the boundary for 4. And even the effort in the field by the World 11, they're just jogging to get that ball. They're just showing no urgency. Is this a team on a holiday? I know they were put together, with the greatest respect, most of them from New South Wales, would have played a bit of cricket together up there, Suhas, but gee, they've been disappointing so far. There's no intent.
Yeah, there is the extra fielder that the umpire doesn't mind having.
Depends which football team you follow. It's probably one of the most unpopular teams, Collingwood, the Magpies. This is driven down the ground again. And the bowler fields in his follow through. Yusuf is 6, Shaquille is 1, and Pakistan making a good start. Mind you, so did the World 11. Over 2 for 69, and then all out in the 20th over for 94. None for 7 after 2 overs. So tomorrow will be the big day, won't it? They call it in sport the moving day in regard to what happens. I mean, we'll find out who the semi-finalists are going to be.
Moving day, that's more for the test matches, but I think we're going to borrow that term anyway because test matches are finishing on the day 2.
They are.
When the test matches finish on day 2, then there is no moving day in test matches.
England.
Anything else that we can borrow from the longer format of the game?
Well, there's lots of things.
Like playing out time. Yesterday we used those words, playing out time.
Play proper cricket shots. Here's Mohamed Irfan again and getting on the back foot and winkling it behind square is Shaquille. He's bowling short of a length, the big man. What would he be, about 6'5", 6'6"?
6'6" as he stands tall. Then that arm goes up as well, calculate that too. The ball comes sometimes over the side screen, you would believe. But if you could say that to Irfan Jr., think about Irfan.
7'1".
7'1". I was looking minuscule when I was standing with him for the picture. I requested somebody to pick up a picture and he just went further and further so that he could accommodate Irfan.
Mohammed Afern bowls again. This is on the leg stump and it's turned away with a leg glance down to deep backward square. They come back and run with the throw and they make it home. Good return on the bounce, but good hustling, good urgency by the Pakistanis. Something the World 11 Suhas has lacked so far.
I like the approach from Pakistan 11. The boundary that they got as well wasn't overhit. He was just easing it into the gap, waiting for the right deliveries to hit away, and now concentrating on running between the wickets to chip away from this target, which is not very daunting at the moment. Mohammad Irfan Jr., can he provide that spicy delivery now?
And this is pulled away, and there's a man there sort of in a leg slip position. He shies at the stumps, certainly a short, fine leg position, and they ram at the shot. Again, terrific urgency and showing great determination, and they were very positive right from the word go.
In hindsight, perhaps, yes, but I thought it was a little risky given that the target's not daunting, but he's good looking for singles which will be considered stealing.
None for 11, Shaquille 2, he's on strike, Yusuf 9, the tall man. Almost with the windmill action, and he attempts to bowl a slower one, which he was trying to hook, and he wasn't able to read that the way he wanted to. Shaquille, big smile on his face.
He's got to be very careful here, Mohammad Irfan Jr., about the line that he's bowling. A bouncer is only a threat when it's directed well. Otherwise, the threat is neutralized if he's going to stray down the leg side.
See, he was just trying to vary his pace.
Yeah. But so far, so good, Dan.
He's going well. He's in again, and that's short. That took off. That absolutely took off, as it appeared that the batter Shaquille was trying to maybe uppercut that one, but really it rose as it went past his shoulder. It was short of a length, and then it became absolutely short.
We'll ask the curator, where are the trampolines placed in this wicket?
Wow, didn't that take off?
He was standing to his full height. He didn't try to jump either.
No.
But umpire Ahil thought one for the over had been done. All right, but this...
Again, short outside the off stump, looking to flash away, fly it away, and that is a risky shot with the stacked offside field. Bowling to his field beautifully, the big man. And that was a great over. 1-2-1 and 3 dots. And it's none for 11 after 3, Pakistan. They need a further 84 to win the game. Unbelievable delivery. A major sponsor, of course, Oswood Timber and Hardware and Gainwright Accountants, Exclusive Migration and Spectrum Real Estate Group. Lots of wonderful sponsors on board.
You can afford more pace bowlers, isn't it, when you have Oswood Timber and Hardware on board? We saw a couple of broken stumps, but that's all right.
Yes, it was a broken stump. Was it yesterday or the other day, the first day of the tournament?
It was the first day.
Now, I'm a bit surprised.
We've got Sahan alongside us, who's quietly doing
Yes.
the scoring right now, but he was the umpire on the first day,
He
so
was.
he remembers.
Doing a great job, the umpires. Now,
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm surprised that Oranga, the Sri Lankan international, is not playing. Now, Sajada's in the attack. He's got the grey beard. Probably went grey early. And again, they run quickly. The return missed by a fair way. But again, they're taking on the World 11. They're making them work hard in the field. And it's none for 12 in the 4th over. Sajjad Cressier is the bowler.
Now that was very close indeed. Don't think the keeper did well enough there, Dan.
At the peninsula end, and it's driven down the ground to mid-on, not scoring Shaquille.
For the first time in 3 days, the ball's moving a little bit in the air. Now the wind's also picking up, but it's been that way all through 3 days, but the ball hasn't moved much in the air. 83 of 100. Again, situation's under control when you look at it with 10 wickets in hand early on. Sajjad Khaisa is moving the ball, and that's something to be considered though.
Had a long first-class career. He bowls short, and it's pulled away, and fine leggers inside the circle, no protection, and it goes to the boundary for 4.
There comes the Christmas gift.
Yes, just down the leg side, way down the leg side. He swiveled on the crease, Shaquille. Lovely shot.
Excellent shot indeed. You just cannot bowl there because you know that you're teasing the captain if you bowl there. He's given you a field, he's offered you the field that you wanted. There's a lot of time that he took before this over for setting his own field.
Shaquille in again. And again he bowls a ball that is over pitched. It's whipped away, but mid-wicket's in the road and ensures there's no run. It was more by good fielding than good bowling, I would have thought.
And after that boundary as well, it's good to see that World 11 still want to attack. The fielder wasn't at the edge of the 30-yard circle. The fielder at mid-wicket, he was at least 10 yards inside to try and stop that tap and run.
Shaquille ready again. He goes down the ground with the inside-out shot. Big Mohammed Irfan is after it. You can hear the size 15 feet thundering on the turf, and he picks it up, and they get a couple. Great return too. He made that look simple over the bails.
Is there something heartwarming? You've seen a lot more cricket, of course, you're very experienced. Is there something heartwarming when a pacer drops down, picks up the ball, gets the throw in?
Oh, when it's like that. I mean, Jeff Thompson was an outstanding fielder. He just picked it up and put it over the stumps for Rod Marsh when you're as athletic as that. It was great to watch. And that's a great looking shot, but it's caught. Caught in the covers. He drove that nicely, but drove it on the up, and the catch is comfortably taken in the covers. Made that look simple, and well done by Giselle. He's taken that catch, and the first wicket falls. It's 1 for 18 at the end of the 4th over, and the batsman out. Unfortunately for Pakistan is Shaquille Afridi for 8.
Yes, there was a bit of movement, and in order to accommodate that movement, the batter had to open the face of the bat at the last moment. In the bargain, you saw that he had to check the shot, couldn't keep it down. Thank you very much. Excellent fielding position as well.
Short cover, yep.
Talk about that short cover. The way he completed the catch as well, was very prepared for anything hurled at him. Wicket at the right time for the World 11, just when he was starting to look good there, Shaquille. 18 for 1, Pakistan 11.
Now, while last night's match was on Suhas, the thriller between Afghanistan and Sri Lanka, the Pakistanis were training on the turf wicket behind us here at Cranbourne, and
you have eyes everywhere.
Cameron Akmal, oh well, I didn't have any eyes anywhere over there. I know a lot of people who know a lot of people who know a lot of people, and Cameron Akmal was apparently smashing them everywhere. And Dale Christie, who's played a lot of Premier cricket, he's the coach of Pakistan, said he would probably bat at 3, and he is.
And the stats vindify what you just said. 23 matches, 811 runs amassed. An excellent average of 40.5. You take it any day. 98 was unlucky to miss out on his century. But yeah, very soon you could see that 6 half centuries already. So he's someone who can play the longer innings and play the sheet anchors role as well, Dan, when the target's not screaming at you to come at me with blazing guns.
But I think they would love to qualify tonight, so they'll be looking at the run rate. They got
sleep better.
Very close the other night. They would. Yasir. It's changed ends, and that took off. And it had to be controlled by Yusuf, almost off the splice of the bat. He controlled it okay, bowling short of a length, and now he defends forward.
He's bowling 1 ball seam up, 1 ball off spinner.
Yeah.
Is that a part of the variation, or is it like, this is what I feel like doing anyway? Because the keeper's standing up, irrespective of what the ball is.
Well, he's an experienced enough cricketer. He can probably do that. He's just trying to see if he can draw the batter, I would have thought, into a false sense of security as he goes back again, uses the whole crease, as you've said many times, out to mid-wicket, punches it in that direction and gets another run. 1 for 19 in the 5th over. Pakistan chasing a total of 95 to win their first game of the tournament.
It's a good start for Mohammad Yasir, this one. Just single conceded, half an over done and dusted, but he needs to close it out well to keep the pressure on.
The veteran Mohammad Yasir, gee, plenty of bounce on that one. He was looking for the late cut, which is also fraught with danger as there's a deep slip and a backward point, and it beat him. Well taken behind the stumps. There's a bit of uneven bounce. That's a nice shot though as he plays it off middle stump. The sweep, there's a long chase towards the boundary. It'll be touch and go. It's touch. It's picked up 5 metres inside the boundary. A deep backward square, and the batter's come through for 3.
Excellent running, and he made it look so simple there, Kamran Akmal. Ever since he went past the first run, you could hear him chirping to his partner that he wants the 3rd. Usually the progression is 1, 2, 3, isn't it? He was so hell-bent on getting back for the 3rd run.
Use of 11. And now he drives into the covers. He is sent back. Good fielding. He had advanced a fair way, Yusuf. He hit that pretty hard. It was well bowled again by Mohammad Yasir. He's varied his pace, as Suhas has also said. Varied what he's been bowling as well. So 1 for 22 after 5. Darren Parkin to come in. Pakistan have made a good start. They need a further 73 to win the game.
Thank you. Thank you. Nice to be back in. An interesting stage of the game. It feels like Pakistan have it well in check, but that wicket just makes things a little bit interesting.
Darren, last time we said that.
Yes.
You know what happened.
Well, they took 7 for 8, so it shows that things can happen pretty quickly.
Absolutely. Yeah, not a bad option at all, especially if you're sitting in the sun. Keep the fluids going.
Drinking the original Thirst Crusher, the solo out there.
I just quietly glanced at the sponsor partners that we have. As soon as you said that.
Yeah, we haven't got them on board. If they want to join in, they're more than welcome. Oswood Timber and Hardware, Gainwright Accountants, Exclusive Migration. Great to have them all on board in association with Spectrum Real Estate Group.
It's a nice little partnership brewing, but all of them have been in singles twos and one occasional three. You usually associate the first 6 overs with boundaries because the cushion in the deep for the bowler is very less. Just 2 of them are allowed to patrol the boundary rope. But so far so good. Sajad's also swinging the ball, and it's a treat to watch indeed. Oh, excellent shot, lovely control. Third man has his task cut out. 1 for the shot and 1 for the throw. Not a good idea if it's a big throw, but the throw has come out in installments. That's all right.
That's right. If you have a fast bowler down there with a big arm, someone like if it was if it was the other innings and you had Muhammad Amir down there or something like that, then maybe you don't take it on. But I know he's at the non-strikers end, but really keen to see Cameron Akmal get going at some stage in this series. 6 Test centuries, 53 Tests. Good player.
Do you think the law of averages will catch up? You never know. Might. Good delivery. The way he tucked it back in again. Now is the second run on. It's an afterthought though. Yeah, it would have been a little risky.
So we will.
These are the moments when you have to control the adrenaline rush and look at the scorecard and the asking rate.
Yeah, they don't need to take extraordinary risks at this point, Pakistan. Not yet anyway. We'll see Akmal on strike now, and hasn't played a lot of cricket, so he's been a little bit rusty. We saw that the other day when he's relatively cheap dismissal. His keeping's been pretty good. He missed a stumping, but generally he's been pretty sharp.
Wicket's been a little up and down.
Yeah, that's right.
You were impressed by his glove work.
Definitely.
The wicket. Time to shine in front of it. Moving across, he's manufactured this shot. He's almost forced Sajad to change his line. The ball will trickle to the fence, and it's going to be a very painful retrieve for Yas.
Into the Exclusive Migration signage down there, and it was a rather slow migration on its way down to the boundary.
You don't need a slow-mo for this one, fantastic.
No, just played in normal time, and that'll double as the slow motion replay. But
with lightning fast outfield like this, what hurts you more? The one that crackles to the boundary rope, or the one that trickles to the fence, teasing the fielder till the end?
Probably the little nudges like that. That was just sort of helped on its way. They're the ones that frustrate you a little bit. I mean, if it's a good shot, it's a good shot.
I tell you what, as a bowler, both don't help.
No, they still look the same in the scorecard.
He's getting a little predictable here, Akmal. The trigger movement is slightly earlier than what you would expect it to. Also because Sajad's taking his own sweet time. Is that something that you do deliberately as well? To get some momentum, to borrow it from your opponents, you slow the game down. Especially if you're in the second innings, because the bonus is out of the equation.
Well, that's right. Yeah, I think it often does dictate the tempo, the game situation that they find themselves in. And I mean, Akmal's 9 off 5 without taking too many risks.
Very tacitly, we realise we borrow so many things from the longer format.
We do. That's right.
This game is so much the same. Excellent shot. Work to do once again. Did he sign up for a dive this time? Bit of footwork.
I think he's actually managed to stop that. The foot, it's a good effort. So there's always that temptation to dive there, but timed it very well.
It's a little risky an effort because when you're a fast bowler, you want to take care of your ankles. What if you step on the ball? It's game over. You're missing the whole season.
Well, Glenn McGrath famously stood on a cricket ball at Edgbaston rather, in 2005, and probably cost Australia the Ashes in many respects, his absence from that test match. And he missed another one as well, and Australia lost both the matches that he didn't play. So it is always risky to just plonk the foot down like that.
Runs of every single ball, and that's what Pakistan 11 have done so very well. 33 for 1 after the first power play. and now the restrictions of the field will be lifted. A lot more cushion for the bowlers.
And to put that in perspective, the World 11 were no wicket for 33 at the end of the power play. So they're slightly ahead, obviously, same runs but one less dismissal. And it was at about this point that they lost 2 quick wickets, which swung the game. So Pakistan will be aware of the fact that, you know, that they're not ahead of the contest in their head-to-head at the moment, even if they're well on track.
The runs of every ball. Oh, well, yes. Sometimes Akmal can get carried away as the keeper in him steps up.
Yes, I was going to say, that's right. He picked up the ball and returned it to the bowler. Now, obviously, in certain situations, that's risky. Because if you were to appeal, that would be out.
True.
You shouldn't, but if you were to... That was a shy at the stumps from mid-off that would have been very, very close.
Such an eventful over the previous one was. Not a single boundary.
No.
But so eventful, so much action to unpack. The game's picked up pace.
It has, and needs to happen now for the World 11. As that one's nudged into the mid-wicket area, and again they'll take on the arm and come back for 2 here. Throw goes to the keeper, and I don't reckon they got back. And this has been called up to our third umpire vantage point here. So the gentleman next to us, immediately to our right, has got the decision to make here. I'm pretty sure that's out. So Hunt Sahan will make the call.
Unnecessary there, Darren.
Absolutely.
Unnecessary.
My gut feel is out, and we'd probably need to freeze the frame there from our vantage point. In the gloves, and he's probably a foot short.
I do not see him put in that dive either, nor the full stretch here.
If we can slow this down somehow, which is what I'm sure he's trying to do. In the gloves, but gone. Very good work from the keeper.
Did he collect it cleanly?
That's a good question.
Is he dislodging it with the gloves before the ball makes impact with timber?
It's another good question. Ball goes into the gloves. Does it stay in the gloves though? I think I think he has. He's almost sort of flicked it onto the stumps. The ball hasn't stayed in the gloves, but I reckon that's certainly enough to be out. And as you said, they probably didn't need to take the risk of running 2 there, given the position in the game. And that's the end for Cameron Akmal.
He's got to trudge back. In form, batter. And he's got his task cut out.
Yeah, 11 off 7, so nice little cameo, but you hate getting run out. So he'll hope they get through to a quarter-final, or a semi-final rather, and he'll get another opportunity. He's missed out with the bat twice. Salman Afridi, the new batter, at the crease for Pakistan. One of 2 Afridis in this lineup, because Shakil Afridi and Salman Afridi.
It's a great ploy to have the keeper up. And there will be extra bounds.
Oh dear.
The batters disobeyed the batter immediately. Oh, it's going to be a very short stay and a long walk back. By the time he replays this 10,000 times in his mind, the finger has risen. Wickets back to back. And Pakistan 11, they've got to find a different route to the target.
And that jumped up off the deck too. It got a lot of bounce. And that clearly surprised the batsman first up at the crease. And we'll have a look. Keen replay to get that much bounce from a slower bowler as well. That's jumped up and he's just run it off the glove, I think, into the slip area.
Yeah, the slip. It wasn't the regular placement of the slip, not conventional.
So you're not used to that much bounce coming from a slower bowler at this stage of a match. And as we just heard the MC say, another golden duck. That'll be about 5 today, I think.
The World 11 bowling attack, well, it's a tall order.
Yes, it is, absolutely. They're a big group. And it's 3 for 36 now, so 2 wickets in 2 balls. He's not on a hat-trick, obviously, because the first was a run-out, but a team hat-trick opportunity.
Yusuf cannot believe it. All that he did was look ever since this over started, and the wickets are tumbling at the other end. This was the second to go. I think he was in 2 minds when he let it go, but it climbed on him.
Yeah, it did. You just don't get that bounce from spinners, but as you say, he's a taller bowler. And that, yeah, very much surprising. You don't expect a copper delivery like that. So well bowled. Do we get a team hat-trick? We haven't had an individual hat-trick. Do we get a team hat-trick here?
But excruciatingly close so many times.
Absolutely. And 3 wickets in 4 balls at one point. So game on all of a sudden. World 11 with their tails up. They've got a sniff.
Yeah, 2 runs and 2 wickets in the over so far. He's done really well, Mohammed. And that's going to be the lifeline for at least a couple of overs here, the singles.
Definitely.
You have to discuss the dot ball percentage. You've got to rotate the strike as much as possible.
That was a team hat-trick ball, and I reckon all 4 of us in commentary have called a hat-trick ball in this match, and none of us have got one up so far.
Use your magical powers, Darren.
We'll see if we can get another chance. Of course, if the World 11 get another look at a hat-trick, then they're a massive chance to win the game.
Oh, this could be another. This
another. What a ball.
You see 3 wickets in an over twice in the game. An unbelievable take. It's not easy to take an inside edge of that kind. Hands in the right position. Great piece of glove work.
And a great piece of bowling too. The 2 dismissals that have come to the bowler in this over have been fantastic. He rushed the batsman a couple of balls ago, got some bounce, got it to climb, and now he drew the edge. And as you say, for keepers up to the stumps to take it that sharply off an edge like that, brilliant wicket keeping, and all of a sudden...
It was a planned wicket. You could see Aman signal the counter sign to the bowler. And there it was.
Catch. That's a very good catch. Good bowling too. That's probably the dismissal of the match so far.
Maybe an outside edge there. I might have gotten a little too excited. The outside edge still had to be taken. The slip and the keeper have been excellent throughout the over.
Yeah,
half an over has contributed to W's.
Ball hit timber. That's the main thing. That's 4 for 37 now. So still 58 away, and certainly giving themselves a chance here, the World 11. In a moment, we'll introduce Pete Laser into the commentary team for his first stint during this chase. Pakistan 4 for 37. Saad Kartik comes to the crease.
253 games in his match, 3,016. That average is not doing justice to the amount of runs that he scored.
Averages obviously in T20 cricket can be a bit skewed because you're often chasing quick runs. Very good bowling average as well.
Now, what the slump has also done is it's prompted Pakistan 11 to make that change in the batting order. Khatak's coming in at number 6.
And Farwed relatively new at the crease as well on 1. He's only been out there for a short period of time. So 2 new faces. And reaching for that one outside off stump and pushing that down to mid-off, and they'll get a run. A valuable run at this stage just to try to stem the bleeding a little bit. 4 for 38.
The best thing that could have happened to World 11 is to find 2 new batters to bowl at this stage. 38 for 4. Pakistan suddenly realized that 57 might be a distant dream in case a partnership is not prospering. That's one way to deal with it. Let the ball do its thing, then intercept.
Well, the Australian cricket team, particularly at test level historically, have had some very, very spooky moments with small targets. They can be an awkward one. Australia famously 1981 Ashes series, chasing 129 and 150, lost both of those tests. They lost at the SCG, chasing 117 against South Africa. And that one's cut away well to the sweeper in the deep. They lost in India, I reckon, chasing 106, got bowled out for 98. That was a test match, I think, where Michael Clarke took 6 for 9, and then Australia didn't get the runs on a dust bowl in Mumbai. So that's cut away. That'll be another single. So they've just got to tick it over here and re-establish Pakistan. They've got to settle themselves into knowing that they are still in a decent position, even though they're 4 down. Suhas will join us again a little bit later on in the innings. Pete Laser will come in here with Pakistan needing to steady the ship. We didn't think that they were going to be in that position, but 3 wickets in an over has left them just stuttering a little bit. Pete, as we welcome you back, Pakistan fighting for survival in the tournament. The World 11 will get another chance if they lose this game, but Pakistan won't.
It's quite remarkable how this game has just swung on momentums and in overs. Big overs.
They're bowling left, right and centre here. The multiple wickets in and over.
The wind is absolutely blowing at the moment. I don't want to hit into it.
And that's defended a fuller delivery.
Did you see those trees just absolutely flying sideways? I reckon it's picked up again.
Probably as
Strong
windy.
when we started, it's stronger now.
Yeah, the windiest day we've had was Sunday, but it's probably rivaling that at the moment as Farah just drops that down at his toes. Sharp work from the keeper, who's onto everything after that catch he took an over or so ago. Mohammed's been brilliant. Took 2 wickets in 3 balls.
Leg slip here.
It's very unusual for T20 at this stage, reaching for that, pushing it into the offside no run.
Pakistan just need to get out of this rut. Yes, they need to stay in there, but they also need to, for a couple of runs, but they just need to get out of this self-created rut.
And that's nudged into the offside for a single. So yesterday we had the first of the new teams in this competition, Afghanistan, defeat the defending champions. Can we have the other new team in the World 11 eliminate Pakistan? It would be a huge couple of days of upsets. Long way to go, obviously.
And that's how it feels. And yet, we just saw a push into the offside for a single. They can do this in singles. In fact, if they do it in singles, they'll do it with a couple of overs to spare.
Yeah, the required run rate's only a tick under 5, I think, 4.76. So they don't have to do anything extraordinary like they flirted with doing there. They tried to pinch a quick single, thought better of it. And it was that run out that started the rod in the previous over. Then there were 2 terrific deliveries. 4 for 41. Last ball of the 9th. And the last ball of Mohamed's spell too. It's his 4th over and he gets another short delivery. He's got some good bounce for a slower bowler. They got that one up to shoulder height. Remember Shane Warne bounced Kevin Peterson in a test match once.
No love lost there, but they always got along well away from the wicket, which is pretty much like a lot of players in the Aussie Cricket League at the moment. They fraternise a little bit before the game, but as soon as they walk out there, it's certainly game on.
Which is what you want.
Absolutely it is. It just feels at the moment like Pakistan are behind in the game, and yet they only need 95 in total to win, not another 95. They need 54 more.
It's funny, cricket, because they're probably not behind, but as you say, it feels like they are, and in their heads it would seem that way, as that's a wider delivery. Bottom edge has gone through the keeper's legs, and there's no protection there, so they're going to pick up an easy 2 runs. That's a bit of bad luck for the bowling side.
What it does show me, certainly the first innings and this innings, is how much of the game is played from the shoulders up. It's not necessarily a technical or a skill level that's been shown here. It's the mental side of things, and it's getting to some of the batters. The bowlers have been handling it quite well.
43 for 4, nudged through the vacant mid-wicket region for a very easy single, and that's all Pakistan need to do at the moment. Jasal is operating.
And surely these two have had a chat as well and said, we just need to be here. If these two are here, they win.
If we're here in 5 overs time, even the equation looks a lot better for us, and that's a big appeal, and they're still there as it's turned down.
Much to the bemusement of the World 11, Bushy Jasal, you can't quite believe it. It's going to need to.
Bat and pad close together. Yeah, absolutely.
Decisions.
It was an early shake of the head. We've had the third umpire utilised in the previous over. We had the benefit of sitting right next to him, so we get access to those replays. So continuing this time over the wicket, and that's turned very wristy shot into the onside. They'll run the first hard, and they will consider a second, but the fielder came in too quickly off the rope and was able to deny them. So just the 1 run, 4 off this over with 2 to come, and that's fine. A run a ball for Pakistan.
That was a huge call of no, wasn't it? That's the last thing Pakistan need to lose another wicket to a run out.
Yeah, second run out would be catastrophic. Farwood on 7, Saad on 2. Pushy Jasal continuing over the wicket here. A fuller ball swept and out. LBW, he tried to turn it. It was a little bit too straight. It jammed in very low on the pads. And he's pointing at his bat saying, I reckon I've got a touch on that, but it's not going to work for him as he makes his way to the sheds when Pakistan lose a 4th wicket in 3 overs. And he is actually going to have a look at that. I think he's claiming he's hit that. If he hasn't, he's out.
He's wanting to review it. The umpire's run out. The third umpire's run out there, so I'm not quite sure he's going to be able to review it.
Of course,
unless they do a reenactment.
Yeah, I don't know, he's still making his way off, so I think he's probably almost signalling that he'd like to review it, but
we can get a replay. We'll take a look at the replay and see.
He's clearly indicating to everyone willing to listen that he's hit that.
He continually asks for a review. Unfortunately for him, the umpire doing the review is actually out in the middle, and that's going to make it tough.
Unless they want us to do it, we can have a look.
Well, Dan Lonigan's actually taken.
Yeah, he's there
in the third umpire chair.
So
I'm not sure the third umpire will be all happy with that, but he's done it anyway. He's made himself comfortable.
So the third umpire is actually out on the middle. So as you say, he can't review. He hasn't gone there. He's wandering back out there forward at the moment, trying to figure out what's going on here. He certainly hasn't made his way off the ground yet.
I think the third umpire has just realised that.
Hang on a second, I've got to get back to my booth.
I'm probably not doing the job I'm meant to be doing here.
They're still high-fiving there, the World 11, so they still very confident that they've got their way here.
And this is probably fair enough for our viewers to be a touch confused by what's going on, because they certainly wouldn't be the Lone Rangers there.
Giving out LBW on the sweep, a full ball. Bat was very close to the pad, so I think the umpire has deemed that it's hit him on the boot or very low on the pad. The batsman arguing that it's got the toe of the bat instead.
He's actually got the chance to, this is very unusual.
Yeah.
He's had the chance to sell his case to the third umpire before he comes back to look for it. So now the third umpire's under no illusion as to what he's looking for, because the batsman told it.
It's almost like horse racing when they have the protest and the two jockeys sitting there and argue with each other saying, yep, I've done this and this is what I was trying to do, and it looks like he's out.
And unfortunately, the next batter's probably going to get timed out now. It's been 4 minutes.
That's right.
Chance to lose 2 for 9 in one ball.
My gut feel, the gut feel watching that live is I didn't think that was a bad decision. It looked like, I mean, I understand the issue around how close the bat was to it, but it was 100% hitting the stumps. No question of height, no question of line.
The third umpire's gone over and chatted to the Pakistan camp.
And as Dan quite rightly says, batsmen know if they've hit it, and he seems pretty adamant. So,
but they also don't know if they've hit the ground.
Yeah,
at the same time.
Or if they've hit it first.
And they don't walk when they just kick it off middle. So, I was a little surprised that the third umpire ran out with drinks as opposed to taking another look at it. We'll take another look at it when we get the chance.
5 for 45 though, so
at the end of all that, that's what matters.
One to come in the 10th over, and the World 11. We spoke about Pakistan taking 7 for 8. They've taken 4 for 9, so they've turned the game very much back their way. So we're almost at that 50-50 territory on sheer volume of wickets lost. So Kartek's still at the crease. He's on 2. Aziz Allah, who bowled quite a bit through that innings, has got a chance with bat in hand at number 7. And the World 11, a legitimate chance of defending 94.
This isn't how Pakistan would have saw their innings going, that's for sure. 50 runs required from 61 balls.
I'm getting
1 ball remaining in this 10th over.
Just listening as well as we had to bring Dan Lonigan in, who's had a conversation with the third umpire, and that made sense, and he'll explain that. I think it was guidance from the Pakistan dugout to stick around, and that's not the rules as it stands. 10 overs down, 5 for 45. Dan Lonigan will jump in and explain that correspondence with the World 11 very much a chance.
So at the same stage, the World 11 were 2 for 46. So quite remarkably, World 11 are in a better comparative spot than where Pakistan find themselves now at 5 for 45. Of course, the World 11 did lose 7 for 8, which is not something you can say about a side that is seemingly on top.
And, of course, there were 3 opportunities for hat-tricks, which you don't see very often at all, if at all.
Normally when you cut up a T20 game for highlights, you just get a couple of minutes of highlights. They're going to have to watch the whole thing here. There's been a lot of downtime in this game.
Question, have they done the wrong thing leaving Bubba out?
Not according to the coach. You're just saying that because he made 100 last year. They say a week's a long time in cricket. I reckon a year's even longer.
Oh, it is, but still reckon he's their most experienced player. As the grey-haired, bearded Sajjad Quasar comes in.
Cameron Akmal, I'll have something to say about that.
What's that?
Well, he's a fair bit more experienced, I would have thought.
Oh, absolutely. But, I mean, you know what I mean? Bubba is a very experienced player and a very good player and knows this ground well. And if they needed someone to take the game away, he could have been the one, Pete. For once in his life, Pete Laser cannot respond.
You don't like when I disagree with you, so I decided to say nothing.
I don't care if you disagree. Opinions are like noses on your face, Pete. We've all got one. It's all about being able to argue the point to get it across. 5 for 45, game in the balance. Sajjad bowls again and leaning into the shot, pushing into the offside is Saad. Now, I did speak to the umpire next to us, the third umpire, and he said that that decision was definitely out. And then they were talking about another issue out on the ground with the other two umpires. But, I mean, as we said earlier, Pete, I think the batter would know if he's hit it or not.
Not necessarily. And it's not up to the batter to decide
No, I
he
understand
thinks he's
that.
hit it either. So, you're out. The umpire said you're out. Off you go.
5 for 46. This is the 11th over. Sajjad in again. Bowls beaten outside the off stump. That's good bowling, stump to stump. Just moving away slightly, and as it is, had a little bit of a flirt at that and didn't miss it by much.
So we've seen some good pace bowling over the course of the Aussie Cricket League. I think the bowling is far superior to the batting we've seen so far. There's some genuine pace going on out there. You can see the carry through to the keeper also.
Well, if the World 11 win, they're in the semi-finals, no matter what happens tomorrow against the Indians. Pakistan just have to win. And I thought they would have been pushing hard to help their run rate as well to just about cement their spot tonight, but they just need to worry about winning now.
So true, though. I'm always amazed by bonus points and net run rates and just losing your focus of what the one job is you need to do, because nothing matters if you don't win.
Correct.
Keep it as simple as you can. I'm surprised by their approach thus far. Maybe the approach is different to how they've executed it. Maybe it's more a technical thing than a tactical.
Sajjad in again, bowls, takes the edge, but there is no one able to protect it. Third man, the fielder there is more at a backward point position. It went fine. It squared him up, but he lowered the hands and he got a boundary along the ground through the slips cordon. They all count, and that is as important as we've seen today. 5 for 50 Pakistan after 11 overs, needing a further 45 to win.
Boundaries have been hen's teeth. There's no doubt about that. Very difficult to find. We've seen a couple of beautiful shots, but aside from that, they've been few and far between. So I don't think Pakistan will necessarily care as they bring up their 50 off 65 deliveries. I don't think they'll care how they get them, just the fact they get them. 45 from 55 required.
Sajjad, last ball of the over, in again. This was in the air, but it was a bit squarer for the fielder who's in closer to short mid-wicket. The return's pretty good. He takes the bails off Sajjad, but the batter makes his ground. Their fielding's got better. I thought they were a bit, lacking in the first 3 or 4 overs, but that was much better.
Certainly wasn't. Some great running from the Pakistanis as well. Just got past the infield, ran the first one hard. He was in and out of the crease really quickly. Super pick up and throw. But he's past the stumps. There was nothing wrong there. The Pakistan running, which we'll look at there, was fantastic. 5 for 52. 11 overs into their chase. So 54 balls remaining. They need 43 more. You'd think the chase should just be quite calm, cool and collected. And yet, if there's one thing we know about our Aussie Cricket League games, cool, calm and collected don't necessarily come in any of those orders or at all.
It'll be nothing like that, I think. Although the other night I went the other way, didn't I? I said this will be a doddle when
Not allowed to say that anymore.
India were playing Pakistan.
We've been banned from those suggestions for the week.
Correct. I tell you, I thought Yasir bowled well, didn't he? Showing all his experience and class and why he's played at the highest level. Getting some terrific bounce as well, being a big man. Aaron Chandigarh is the new bowler, but they call him Chauhan. Aaron Chauhan, he's in the attack.
Carrick's got a big job here, as is as well. He's started well. He's got good intent out in the middle. They've got to keep that going. They need momentum, Pakistan. That will get them home.
He bowled well along with Farwood. He took 3 for 9, including 3 wickets in 4 balls when they collapsed from 2 for 69 to 5 for 69. That's where the carnage started for the World 11. Chauhan in again. Little whippy action, and it's worked into the onside. The fielders are deep inside the circle on the onside, and he does his own fielding.
That's sensational batting. Good touch.
Yeah.
Aware that all the fielders are out on the leg side, aside from mid-on, who's not the quickest across the ground. That was really good batting and good running. Great game awareness. That's something that we also haven't seen a huge amount of. I'm loving that, and it's forced a change in the field. You always know it's good batting if you change what the fielding team wants to do.
5 for 54 in the 12th, 41 needed. And again, this is worked away with the wristy whip into the onside. That's 5 for 55 now.
You look at that, it's only 40 more, but it's still 40 more. They lost 5 wickets trying to get their first.
Still a little mountain to climb, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely it is.
Chauhan again, short, cut away, and it was a slow one as well, out to the sweeper at deep cover. They get one.
He's going to have to be careful with that slower one in future, because he almost changed his action and stopped at the crease. Didn't actually go through the crease, so you could actually see it was going to be a slower delivery, and he pulled it down. It was short and wide. I mean, he's pretty lucky to get away with that.
I think so. Chauhan in again. 5 for 56. They're scoring runs regularly here. Again, the rolling of the wrists around the corner to short fine leg, short squarish fine leg. And this has been a good over for Pakistan to get themselves back on track in their chase for 95. The World 11 losing 8 for 25, Pete.
Always remember a fast bowling friend of mine said, why would I run all that way and bowl a slower ball?
It might bamboozle the batsmen, but I think they're more awake to it than they were when it first came in.
He's bowling 145 k's an hour. He's thinking, well, I'm going to get more wickets at 145 than 125.
Remember James Faulkner? He had a slow ball, just about a different slow ball.
Did he have a quicker ball?
Not sure he did.
Not by then.
He should have played more Test cricket than he did. He did pretty well in that one Test at the Oval in 2013. He was good cricketer, James Faulkner, but just got a bit wayward, didn't he, off the field near the end.
It's tough for all-rounders, though.
Played for the Stars, of course, your team. Pushes into the offside. They take off and they get a run. The field's pretty stacked in that offside. It's good bowling by Chauhan outside the off stump, but he did concede a few runs. The batter's constantly getting singles, and that's helped the cause of Pakistan, who need a further 37 to win. There are 8 overs left, so 37 off 48, and they've got 5 wickets in hand. Saad on 7 and Azizullah on 8.
13 from the last couple of overs for Pakistan, and that's exactly what they needed to do. Was they found the boundary once, of course, but just that intent, that running between wickets, that pure intent of just ticking the scoreboard over. Saad Khattak now 7 from 12 as his other. Susie's come in 8 from 8 with that boundary, but I think he's changed the mentality of Saad Khattak as well, and they've made sure that together, and they've put on 13 so far.
Yasir Ali, brilliant, Pete. 2 for 14 from his 4 overs. Man who played 1 Test for Pakistan. And the big man's coming back in. Do you like his action? It's a little bit Max Walker, Alan Thompson-ish. Off the wrong foot.
It is.
Yeah, windmill.
Whether he's confusing himself or the batters, I'm not so sure. It's always interesting to watch, though. I mean, this is what I love about cricket, is that you can play the same game with 100 people doing 100 different actions.
Yes.
Some have been taught, some haven't been taught at all. Some have been coached out of them, and some you just let them go. You pull the string and let them go. And I think that's something about cricket that's unique.
Jeff Thompson was one of those, of course. He just told Dennis Lewis, I'll just go wham. That was just after DK, of course, had his action remodelled to help his back. Irfan Jr. again, it's short of a length. It's dropped into the offside and they run and run quickly. Good batting by Azizullah again. Played that well.
Watch Marvin Jr.'s first over outside. I just want to see what it was like out there. He's got some genuine pace. It's coming through.
He doesn't look as quick as Mohammed Amir or the 2 Indians, Stephen Wigg
when you're out
and
there,
Shran the other night.
He's cutting through. So, and I think because of the action as well, It makes him very difficult to face.
But Nala are pretty quick for the Pakistanis as well. He's a big man, of course, and that is a good delivery that goes past the outside edge of the bat. He hung that out to dry, then Saad looking maybe to try and uppercut it if he could, get enough elevation and go to the boundary for 4, but missed it.
Don't mind having the slip in either. You're just going to make sure that the slip can catch him, though. It's all very well having a slip there, but you've got to be able to catch him. This is going to be coming quickly. They're going to be looking to score. It's not just going to be a little lolly to cover. This is going to be a good catch if it gets there. Let's hope he's ready to go.
5 for 59. Irfan Jr. bowls again wide of the off stump.
Yeah, wide of the off stump, probably a little bit harsh. It was just very, very close. We'll have a look at the replay here. That was...
Well, it's still wide of the off stump because it didn't hit the off stump, did it? Like that delivery that... Who got one the other day? Oh, Babar Azam of Pakistan. An absolute beauty. He let it go and it was again the reverse swing that came back and knocked his off bail.
That was very, very close. And that'll make him think he needs to play at the next one, which could go in the favour of the World 11.
5 for 59. And this time he goes down the ground looking to whack that out of the ground. And he saw him coming, Muhammad Amir, and made it tough for the batter Saad to be able to latch onto that and hit with the wind through the onside and made a meal of it. Another dot ball. Good bowling by the big fella.
A few of the World 11 fielders are more than happy to point out that that's probably not the greatest shot at 5 for 59.
No. And of course it bounces over middle stump. Looking at the replay. Five for 59. Irfan in again. That's down the leg side. I think he may have just got a little bit of the bat on that and the wicketkeeper jumped up. Couldn't hang on to it.
Well, I mentioned that the slip was going to have to take a fair catch if it went through. Yeah. The keeper's going to have to do the same thing as well.
He's done a good job, the wicketkeeper, and look, that wasn't far away.
You're going with saving 3. I'm going with drop catch $2. You're saying, nah, that's $2 for the end of season trip. He's dropped that.
Oh, it wasn't a bad effort going down the leg side and it took off as well.
You've got gloves.
Yeah. Oh, come on, please. 5 for 60. I wouldn't have got near it. Last ball, the 13th over. I'm going to bring the great man in a minute. Suhas, this is short, and again, just bouncing in front of the wicket-keeper. Took a hand off the bat, as is all. He had no idea how to play that. And he took a hand off the bat and had a swipe at it, and it sort of bounced in front of the first slipper and made its way down behind the slips. And, well, he really is getting a lot of bounce, isn't he, Mohammed Irfan, Pete?
If you're going to defend 94, you need to take all your chances.
Yeah.
They're creating chances here, World 11. They need to take them. 5 for 61. 7 overs remaining in the innings at the moment. So 34 required from 42. That's some good bowling.
Well, I'm going to hand it over to Suhas to come in at 5 for 61 to join the great Pete Laser. As you say, 34 runs needed by Pakistan. Still got some work to do.
It is amazing that this game can be so delicately and evenly poised after a side lost 7 for 8. The World 11 lost 7 for 8 and they're still in this contest. It's really quite remarkable. So Haas just getting his little notebook out. It's got all the signatures of all the players. They can take it home. Frame it perhaps. So here we go. This is set up for a fantastic finish, Haas, welcome back.
Thank you very much, Pete. And every time you're in the comm box, or I find myself alongside you, this happens usually. Why do you do this to us?
This is quite unbelievable. I don't quite know. What a great name, though. Pushing Jazal. I love this. What a great name. He bowls well.
A good delivery. It's one way to tackle the spin, isn't it? Let it do its thing. Intercept as late as possible. Are you happy with this? Because singles are going to be the lifeline from here on. They don't want to do anything different or cheeky.
I mentioned it early on. I mean, you can't do tactically what you can't do technically, and I think they've lost their way a little bit.
Much better. Again, running the first one hard just to put a little bit of pressure, but the second one would not be available. It's an underarm throw. Just tells you how in control the fielder was swooping in.
So, I just wasn't sure how they were going about their chase, Pakistan. That was the biggest question I had.
He's given it all, but the ball's turning a little bit more than what Jassal would have wanted to. Had it held its line, perhaps would have kissed the off.
He's not easy to get away. 1 for 9 from his 15 deliveries, 2.5 overs. So it's a good decision to bring him on, but he'll be searching for that wicket.
The beauty of it is he's bowling slow and loopy and sometimes over the eye line. You don't usually see these things in coloured clothing.
You don't, but they are tempting batters here. They're saying if you're good enough.
Yeah.
And these two have put on a nice little partnership here. They've put on 18.
But tell me a little bit about this approach speed from Pakistan 11. You look at 64 for 5. 32 of 38 is still under control. You did a lot of singles and twos of this kind. The second one was on. The throw was very wild. Someone had to tame it. Now, when you look at this approach, do you also feel if a wicket falls right now, you don't want a goody two-shoes coming in. You want somebody to ruffle some feathers?
Possibly. But you can also keep a limit here. I mean, they need 4.8 and over. Singles do it. They know there's going to be a bad ball occasionally. Get through the deliveries that are tough. I'm a little surprised with how they've gone about it since they lost the wickets.
Oh, well, again the question of why did it spin so much? Well, Jasal, that's because you're talented that much as well. 4 runs of it, and the replay will just tell you how excruciatingly close this was to touching timber.
So, 14 overs in, that was a really good delivery. Not quite sure that was there to slog sweep over deep mid-wicket. So after 14 overs, the World 11 were 2 for 69. They then lost 3 for none as part of 7 for 8. This is the time that World 11 fell apart. The world fell apart.
Yeah, the world fell apart, but not being 11.
So, 2 for 69,
for
Pakistan's 5 for 65.
Yeah, do you think the curse came in a little early for Pakistan 11?
I'm not sure. I think I'll tell you what they do need to do. They need these two to keep batting. We said earlier, if they can bat 5, 6, 7 overs together, they'll get them home. Just through sheer weight of being out there and having that intent to score. Aziz Al's been fantastic. He's gone out there with the best intent that we've seen of the last 4 or 5 Pakistani batsmen. All of a sudden now he's 13 from 15. He's in a partnership of 20, which doesn't sound like a lot. That's more than a fifth of the runs they need.
That's true. 20 is a plenty at the moment because 20 also suggests that you spend some time in the middle to absorb that pressure, isn't it, Pete? Change of bowling, Satish. He's been playing cricket in Australia for almost 11 years now, Satish. He understands the surfaces better, but this has been a surprise for many people.
Look at the helmet of hair he's got on the top too. Look at this. They've got the bowl out to cut that.
We'll get you the barber. We'll get you the number of that barber. Good slower delivery. Love the way he adjusted to the fact that the batter was walking or sauntering down the track. I think you need to do that to access the gap a little better.
I think so, but when they need less than 5 and over, as Pakistan do, maybe bring third man up. Third man's not getting the nick. He's not cutting out. So you've got to slip. So either the slip should move across to that glide. Get rid of that glide because they're getting easy singles there. With the pace on, that becomes an easy shot for the Pakistan batsman.
I'm going to ask you something a little controversial. If Satish might be felt hurt. Oh, that's a great throw. That's a great throw indeed.
We're going to the third umpire. That looked very, very close. This is what the third umpire is here for. Not making a decision whether a batter has decided that he hit it, because that's not your decision. The decision for the third umpire is to look at the replay and see whether that direct hit is enough, and what a wonderful piece of fielding it was.
As much as we love that delivery, I don't think that's going to help in this dismissal. A direct hit can always be tricky, isn't it? And especially when you're getting 2.5 stumps to aim at. He was excellent with his dispatch.
There it is. And great camera angle there, and he's home, he's safe.
Good work by the umpire as well, knowingly or unknowingly. He's walked away from the stumps, allowing a good camera angle to find out if it's hit at the right time or not.
That's changed with umpires too. In the old days, the umpires had to run straight on with the line, and they had to be there, whereas now,
correct,
get away, get out of the way.
Excellent point. And they were a little crouched as well. Now a little upright,
I think
or more upright.
It's probably just the posture of the old men in the old days.
Oh, come on.
So they get the signal.
Are you suggesting an early retirement for many?
Some of them needed it. 5 for 67 here. 28 required from 34.
Again, he's walked into this shot. It's an easy single that's been awarded.
These two are holding it together. They're doing the job. This is exactly what Pakistan need. Remembering, Pakistan lose this game, they're out. This is their second group game. If they lose 2 games, they're out in World 11. This is like a qualifying final for them.
Stakes are high. Another good delivery, but the tap and run was almost inevitable. Everyone was hanging back at the edge of the 30-yard circle. One for the shot and one for the throw. All this while there was an encapsulating drama of a run out with the non-strikers in not too long ago. I think this game is just a treat to watch indeed. ACL 2.0 will continue to give.
So if I'm Sherry, if I'm the captain of World 11 now, and these two are just punting them around for 1s and 2s, I'm bringing everyone in. I'm bringing 6 fielders inside the circle, saying if you're good enough, you can hit over the top, you can hit through us. But they're not looking to hit through or over. They're just looking to manipulate the field. They're batting really well, but now the World 11 need to change something. At the moment, they're letting the game slip from their grasp.
Again, nudges it in the gap. He's running the first one hard, but will settle for a single. That's enough. That's got the job done. For a moment, he thought the 2 was on.
24 required. When you've got 24 runs to play with, if they're good enough to hit 6 boundaries, fine. But they've hit 1 boundary in this partnership of 26. There's been 1 boundary. The rest have been 1s and 2s. Now's the time to try and cut that off. At the moment, they're behind the game.
Yeah, sometimes a dish is cooked slowly, but it's still getting the job done. It's very sumptuous when it gets where you want it to. Again, the second run is on. 1 for the shot, 1 for the throw. This seems to be an excellent way to exploit the field, which is lacking a little bit of celerity. 15 gone, 73 for 5.
I said earlier that Azizullah bowled really well. He had really good intent with his bowling.
Correct.
He ran up. He was energetic. He's quicker ball. He's slower. His shorter one was quicker. Now with the bat, he's actually batting as he bowled. He's come out with intent to score, intent to work together, build a partnership. All they needed was to build a partnership after losing those runs. They lost 4 for 9, Pakistan. And you can see it right there. They lost 4 for 9. These two have come in, taken the score from 5 for 45 to 5 for 73. They're probably ruining that last partnership that they let the World 11 get together. But as it stands, Pakistan are genuinely in the box seat here.
Yeah, and I think World 11 have definitely missed a trick by ensuring that the fielders hang back and try to stop the boundaries. The partnerships that tells you the story, Azizullah and Saad Khattak have kept them in the game with a quiet but steady partnership, because nothing flashy is required at the moment. Just sensible cricket is getting the job done.
So World 11 have to change something. They have to change their approach at the moment. It's almost pressing Control Alt Delete to try and think, okay, we're going to defend 20.
Right.
They need 22 to win, so we need to defend 20 if they want to win. They can't keep doing the same thing. They'll just keep pushing them around.
Well, again, a cross-batted stroke. Jassal did everything in his powers to invite the batter to go for the big shot. But I think it's a little brain fade moment.
As soon as I say that, they try for the big waft into the breeze, which isn't the smartest way to go about it.
Inside out, it looks classy when it comes off like that. It's got at least a couple written over it, but a poor fielding effort will ensure 2 more are added to what was required. 4 for the taking. Pushy Jassal doesn't want to look at the fielder now.
We were talking about how the World 11 had to take all of their chances. Every chance they created, they had to take.
Right.
Same in the field. You've got to cut that off. He ran really well. That's a great effort, and then just got it wrong at the end. It was a great effort. But great efforts don't win you games without the execution at the end. Just a little thing, 2 runs, makes a huge difference.
In this outfield, you've got to be switched on as a fielder at all times. Because even if it's something straightforward, but you lack the confidence or concentration, the ball will slip through and not stop.
I said they had to defend 20. Now there's 17 to win. They've got 15 to defend now. It's even harder.
The cushion will only deflate.
So now you can see just that little bit of frustration coming into the World 11 as well. And they know that they got on top of this game. Defending 94, they got on top of this game, which is remarkable. I've never seen a side lose 7 for 8, let alone lose 7 for 8 and be in front in the game. And yet now it is slipping through their fingers.
What that boundary has also done is that it's created the gap a little more between the runs required and the balls left. 17 or 25, men in green are under control. To get this job done, all they need is to nurdle it around and pick up singles, and it's still a good route to take. Or be absolutely sure if you're playing a cross-batted shot of that kind.
Pushy Jassal, who's bowled brilliantly, he's 4 overs, 1 for 17. but that final over's gone for 6. Yes, the full probably should have been 2, but there was just no pressure on the batters. There's no inclination that they're trying to squeeze them a little bit, and it's the squeeze that can create it. If you lose in 18 overs or you lose in 20 overs, it doesn't matter. You still lose, but you can win the game.
Yeah, that's absolutely right, because the required rate, the current run rate, nobody's looking at that now. They're looking at how many singles can we take to get there, because it's getting the job done. It's one thing to look flashy. It's quite another to look boring, but if you can get the job done because you play for your team and not the crowd.
I'll take effective every time. I mean, I always say I'd rather make a duck in a winning side than 100 in a losing side. And it's the same thing. It's why you play team sport. If you don't want to do that, become a golfer or a tennis player and play for yourself. But this could be interesting. I mean, we know he's quick. If it's quick, he runs in, he gives it everything. He's going to have to do something specially. Just 9 from his 3 overs. This is clever batting. You know that he's not going to have a big swing.
You could almost sense it, right? You could almost sense that he's going to go for the single.
They're going to use all his pace just to work the ball around. They're going to glide. They're going to glide down to deep third. They're going to turn it off the hips for 1.
Yeah.
Why would they stand there and try and smash it when they don't have to? 14 more of those and they're home.
Now, if you're allowed one more fielder inside the circle right now as a captain, which you can afford at the moment, where would you want to place him? Because I genuinely feel there needs to be more protection on the leg side, too much real estate to cover.
I would bring 3 of them in. 2 on the leg side and 1 on the off.
Yeah, kill the game right now.
Make them hit through, make them hit over.
He's not taking any additional risk because the single's getting the job done. The keeper is scurrying towards left, right and sometimes centre, but an underarm lob of a throw would just tell you how comfortable the runs are being taken.
And again, we're talking about team sport. They don't care if it's a leg by, wide, no ball, or it comes off the bat. They'll take every run they can.
In the last
14 to win.
In the last 4 overs, what's been mesmerising is the fact that there have been absolutely less dot balls, and it's a great concern for World 11 after picking up wickets at regular intervals. 23 of 22, as you rightly pointed out there, Pete. Azizullah is getting the job done.
Intent. It's been the intent. It's going to be 4.
Sometimes.
That's 4.
The keeper couldn't do much. Mohammad Irfan Jr. for the first time has realised the height could also be a bane. That bounced too much for anybody's liking.
I'm just looking over my shoulder to see if Dan's got an excuse for the keeper on this occasion. No excuse. It's just 4. It was quick. It was good. It was a really good delivery, but I mean, the smiles on the faces. The only smile would be that they've got a second chance. I mean, fast bowlers love seeing the ball fly everywhere. Well, I just said they won't care if it's leg buys, wides, no balls or buys. They'll take 4 anyway. Now, 10 to win.
You start off a sentence and Mohammad Irfan Jr. punctuates it with his action. It's almost pitched in the same region. This didn't bounce as much.
I'm not sure leaving them so the keeper misses them is going to be a winning tactic, though. I think they probably still should look for runs.
That's a strike.
But you can do this, though, by being in front of the game. And Pakistan are in front of the game because they've had such good intent in this partnership. These 2 have put on 40.
Yeah, and what that odd boundary has also done, just adding to your point, is the fact that it's allowed them to stay put. If it's not there in the range, they're not going after it. First odd ball after a long time.
Knowing it's his last over also.
Just love the way they're treating Irfan Jr. at this stage, Pakistan 11. They've seen him as a threat and they want to neutralize it at all costs. Not doing anything flashy whatsoever. Even if it means shoulder to arms, no problem.
So he's got 1 ball left. He's going to bowl at the stumps. We know that. He's either going to bowl at the stumps or he's going to bowl at his head. There's only 2 deliveries that are going to happen here.
Yeah, shin music or chin music. We were discussing that with Darren yesterday. But where are the Yorkers? We haven't seen them. Lasith Malinga is unfortunately sitting as a mentor and not out there. I understand that.
There's been a severe lack of Yorkers over the course of the Aussie Cricket League 2.0.
Yeah, where are they? Did immigration tell you not to use them though? That's getting the job done. Off the ricochet, a single complete. The second would be risky, and risk is something they can keep at bay at this stage. Pakistan 11. A boundary of that over has made it simpler for Pakistan 11. 86 for 5.
This has been one of the better partnerships we've seen in the Aussie Cricket League, not just today, but throughout the whole tournament so far. 41 they've put on, and they've done that in 7 overs with absolutely no risk. They've gone 41 from 42, no risk, very much risk-averse batting, and it's been the cleverest, best partnership I reckon we've seen this tournament.
You summed it up brilliantly. The difference between flamboyance and shrewdness, they've treaded the path in between, and that's getting the job done.
Still looking to score. I mean, for mine, it's intent as well, and I keep saying that, but it's true as is. Others looks fantastic. He's got out there. He actually started working as well. He goes, no, get on board and come with me. He came in afterwards and said, no, come with me. This is how we're going to get the job done. And they would have kept chatting about it. So now we're going to see whether the World 11 can get one more twist in this tail to see if they can stay in the game. Just 9 required from 3 overs. You're going to need to take wickets here.
Beautifully flighted by Aline, but a single is becoming inevitable. Is he coming back for the second here? Both of them think so. A one-handed throw and a good dispatch, but single has been converted into 2.
I think you've been very generous. You said beautifully flighted. I would have gone with gentle off-spin.
Gentle off-spin.
That was gentle bowling.
I genuinely thought he's going to dart it in at this stage.
I don't think this isn't going to put the fear of the world into Pakistan at the moment. They can just manipulate the strike and work the ball into gaps. It's good batting.
It's not like he's picked the gap at this stage, Pete. He's picked the fielder. But still, the fact that he's playing with soft hands is allowing him that time to take a single. And the interception point was anyways, he was dancing down the track, so it covered half a run. Not half, perhaps, but a little more.
Well, Pakistan need to win this game to stay in the tournament. And at 5 for 45 halfway through, they didn't look like it.
Didn't look like it.
Lost 4 for 9, and now he smashes it out to deep mid-wicket. And they'll come back for 2.
That's a good throw. That's a strong throw. Just that it's off from where it had to land. He's overshot the destination. And second run's been completed again with a sense of ease. 5 runs of this one.
Let's hope they don't lose their head. I know it's 4 to win. You don't have to win it with a boundary. No one ever says you need to. Oh, and he was trying. He looked like he wanted to as well.
I repeat. I was going to say he has 1 year on commentary. He's going to switch that off.
Just get the runs. It doesn't matter when.
That'll do. Sometimes you got to look compact, and sometimes a shot of this kind will also get the job done. Aline's been milked, and that's something he doesn't like. 2-2-1-1 is getting the job done for Pakistan. 11, 92 for 5. I'm very surprised, Pete, by how much they minimized the risk factor. 3 of 12. At one stage, it didn't look like it's going to be 3 of 12 with minimum risk taken.
And I'd love to say it's either good captaincy, good coaching, whatever it happens to be. Maybe it's just these 2 batters who got together and said, we don't need more than a run a ball.
Did they say let's prevail?
Let's just look for a run every ball. Literally just a run a ball. And we can count the amount of boundaries on one hand. There's been 3 boundaries, I think, in this.
So yeah, one of them was a gift from Irfan. So they just waited for the right moments to occur, and as the game played out, the runs kept coming.
So now they just need a couple, and a huge swing. Doing everything we've just said not to do when you need 2 to win. 5 for 93, you've got 11 balls left. You need 2. You don't need 2 boundaries, 2 sixes, 2 runs.
I think it was a plea from the person creating the highlights package that it's been a while since I put something in.
The highlight is winning the game, Shasta. That's all you need to worry about. How can you go from looking so in control and so relaxed to just swinging like a rusty gate when all you need to do is hit the gap twice and you win the game and stay in the tournament? And net run rate may come into it. Imagine if wasting deliveries like this, trying to hit it with the breeze onto Berwick Cranbourne Road, is something that you need to do. Just hit the gap. They should be bringing fielders in. That's what they should do.
True, because 2 more from here and you would realize the score's 11. He's made some contact. As a non-striker, is supposed to help, not push it to the nearest fielder. He's in the line of fire very soon.
It's really quite remarkable. The skipper's brought himself on. This is his first over. Been quite tight and quite good.
Cross seam delivery. as slow.
The fielders are on their heels on the circle. And so now they'll come in realising, well, now we need to start cutting these down. But the game's already done.
Yeah.
We're not going to a super over here. For the next five balls, they can run in between and one of them will get home.
Yeah, 1 required in 8 deliveries. They wouldn't want to take it to the last over. Pakistan. Now he gets the license to go for the big shot, but doesn't get it from the best part of the bat. And the catch will be complete by Sudha. They're delaying the win by doing something different. He wants to go for the big shots and finish in a flamboyant way. It's just that it's not there in his dictionary.
I've seen some stupid shots to win when you need one, but that's right down there.
But it's not Mohammad Siraj batting.
It's
not number 11 either.
He's 27 from 28. He's batted so well, so cleverly for the last 8 overs. Why would you do this?
Absolutely inexplicable. Even though he's got his team to the winning mark.
That is as bizarre as Dan thinking his pink polo shirt looks good. That is remarkable how they've just got that one wrong. And so now the new batter comes out because with the change of rules, of course, the new batter has to face, which I think is a fantastic rule. The new batter should always face. You need a reward for getting the wicket.
I'm totally with you on that one. I think that's a game, that's a change in the rules, but it'll change a lot of games. Because sometimes a person deliberately hits it up in the air so that the established batter can take strike. Now that he cannot find himself at the business end at the expense of a wicket, is actually putting the balance, restoring the balance in our sport.
It's okay for baseball to have a sacrificial fly. That's fine. We're not playing baseball.
I think it is the batter who just got out because the coach is after him. He needed to be more sensible by finishing the game off, not go for the glory shot.
1 to win.
That should do. Yeah. Shy at the stumps, but that single shall do. Victory here for Pakistan 11. They've dotted there, but there were some hiccups in between. One partnership got them to the brink of victory, and just a gentle nudge gets them over the line. Pete, but this game also had its fair share of being a roller coaster.
It has been an unbelievable game of cricket, and we're trying to talk through all of the issues from this game, and it's quite impossible over the course of just the 39 overs that we've witnessed. Somehow, Pakistan have lost 4 for 9 in the middle of their innings, been 5 for 45 at the halfway mark, and have got home to win with a few balls remaining and 4 wickets in hand. Pakistan are still in this tournament. World 11 now, need to beat India tomorrow, and then it comes down to run rate. Before that, though, of course, we've got Australia and Afghanistan. Similarly, Australia have to win that game to make their way through. So, plenty to play for tomorrow, 1 o'clock and 5 o'clock, back at Casey Fields. But somehow, Pakistan have got through, and they're still alive in the Aussie Cricket League.
There have been moments that they'll reflect on. I'm very sure that the coach, despite this victory, would have filled his diary with a lot of things to talk about in the next meeting. World 11, they're looking for those points now. They got to gel better as a team, and they've got to avoid those mistakes that they committed. It's not going to be the same mistakes for sure in the next one. Aussie Cricket League, the games come thick and fast at you, and that's exactly why you don't get much turnaround time to improve on your mistakes. You've got to be switched on at all times. Well, the news, however, is that Pakistan 11, owing to this win, are still alive in the contest. Sachin? Yeah, lots of bowling options for World 11. But it's just that even though they took wickets in a cluster in between, one partnership ensured that Pakistan 11 almost got to victory before that brain fade moment where the batter wanted to go for a glory shot but skied one straight up in the air. But Pakistan 11 in the end managed to put it past World 11, and they put a lot of trouble on World 11 as well, as they have to search for a victory against India, an informed side in the contest. Well, the Aussie Cricket League 2.0 just continues to give, and very shortly we'll find out who the player of the match is as well, as Samantha Riches will be there with the two captains at the post-match presentation. We'll meet you tomorrow in just a bit. That's all we have for you from the comm box, but it's time now for the post-match presentation.
the tournament?
Yes, actually me and our vice captain, we came here. We saw their batting and the bowling, so we will work accordingly. So we will make a good plan against them.
Wonderful. Well, we're very much looking forward to seeing you guys back in action here tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you.
The captain of the World 11, Shari, they're still in high spirits and looking forward to tomorrow's match against Australia, but we should bring in the man here today, the captain of the Pakistan team. Sahil, come on in. Look at that smile on your face.
Well, we play typical Pakistani cricket. We don't win comfortably. But I'm happy now because we're still in the tournament. We needed to win this game. I think we bowled really well. Wicket is a bit sticky again. We bowled well, and total was these sort of flow totals are always hard to get. They always make you nervous. But credit to the middle order. They just did what we needed. That's how you can win these sort of games. You play smartly, a lot of ones and twos, and that's how you win these kinds of games.
We spoke to Mohammed Amir after the bowling innings that you guys bowled, and he was very proud of the bowlers. You must be as a captain too, because I tell you what, you got it done quite quickly, didn't you?
Absolutely. You have world-class bowlers in your team, and I'm a proud captain. You got Mohammed Amir, you got Azizullah, he's also played first-class cricket and have 250 wickets in first-class Pakistan domestic cricket. So you got Umar, who's playing a really good level cricket. All the bowlers are really good, and I'm really proud of the team.
It doesn't just take bowling, it also takes batting, and some wonderful numbers there to get it done. What are you most proud of from the boys today?
I think the way they understood the game in the middle overs, that what's needed. They did not go for big hits. They rotated the strike really well, and the running between the wicket was really good, and I'm really proud of that. The understanding of the game, where we need to win this game. That was pretty good. Obviously we're not done yet. We want to see, now we want to see India win. This is for the first time we want India to win next game. That would be the first time ever.
Yeah, did we get that? It's a very strong rivalry between Pakistan and India. Have you ever said that before?
But I really want to play them in the finals. We want to go through to the semi-finals. We want to improve on the mistakes we made. Again, in the batting, we need to work on that and understand the game better. Hopefully, we get the better wickets than this. And the kind of team we have, if we don't win this tournament, I'll be very disappointed.
Well, congratulations to you and your team. Both the bowlers and the batters and the fielding was exceptional today, keeping us on our toes. Congratulations to Pakistan.
Thank you, Samantha. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to hand over now to my co-host Sahas, who is going to announce the man of the match, and what a match he had. Come on in.
Thank you very much, Samantha. Yeah, so for the player of the match, there were quite a few contenders, but for an all-round performance, it has to be Azizullah. I request Paddy to give away some silverware to him. अजीज भाई उसको ज़रूर स्वीकार कीजिए. वेरी वेल प्लेड बाजी, वेरी वेल प्लेड. एक तो आपका फेवरेट टूर्नामेंट है ये ऑजी क्रिकेट लीग. 4 विकेट पहले चटकाए, अब यहाँ पे 2.
बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम. जी बिल्कुल, मैं ऑस्ट्रेलिया आया हूँ और फर्स्ट इतना अच्छा टूर्नामेंट हो रहा है और एंजॉय कर रहा हूँ. बहुत अच्छा लीग हो रहा है और 4 विकेट फर्स्ट गेम में 2 इसमें कोशिश करते बाकी रिजल्ट आ जाते.
उतनी बड़ी टारगेट थी नहीं यहाँ पे, लेकिन आपको दबदबा बना के रखना था. एक साझेदारी की जरूरत थी. 7 से क्या बातचीत चल रही थी उस वक्त?
यही कि चौथा मैच है और लोअर स्कोरिंग मैचेस हो रहे हैं, तो यही था कि स्टार्ट में 3 से 4 रन छोटी पार्टनरशिप करेंगे, 20 से 25 रन जैसे ही कंडीशन हाथ में आएगी तो उसके बाद और ट्राई करेंगे और चेस कर लिया टारगेट.
ऐसे विकेट पे जहां कप्तान खोजता है कि दूसरा स्पिनर कौन होगा मेरे पास, आप बतौर तेज गेंदबाज 2 विकेट चटकाते हैं और इंपॉर्टेंट बैटर्स को वापस भेजते हैं. उसके बारे में क्या कहना चाहेंगे आप?
यही है कि लाइन और लेंथ पे ज़्यादा रिलाई करते हैं, कंडीशंस को देखते हैं, जहाँ वेरिएशन की ज़रूरत होती है वहाँ थोड़ी बॉल को वेरी करते हैं और ट्राई हार्ड लेंथ को करते हैं और उसमें विकेट आ जाती है.
एक आखिरी सवाल, जिस तरीके से कप्तान ने आपको इस्तेमाल किया था आज, वो थोड़ा सा अलग था पिछले गेम की तुलना में, तो क्या वो आपको पहले से ही मालूम था कि इस तरीके की गेंदबाजी मिलेगी हमें इन ऐसे सिचुएशंस में?
जी, स्टार्ट में कप्तान से और कामिल भाई आमिर भाई आए, उनसे बातचीत हुई थी और उन्होंने प्लान दिया था कि आपको हम यहाँ यूज़ करेंगे, तो मेंटली मैं प्रिपेयर था.
मेंटली प्रिपेयर जरूर थे और जीवित हैं अभी भी इस टूर्नामेंट में. सो कंग्रेचुलेशंस ऑन अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट विन. ऑल द बेस्ट फॉर द नेक्स्ट वन.
थैंक यू वेरी मच.
Azizullah, the player of the match. Well, that's all we have for you from the post-match presentation today. We'll meet you tomorrow with a double header at ACL 2.0.